Hey guys, welcome back.
Hello.
So before we get started, real quick, I want to discuss next week. Next week, I have something going on Friday, so we have a few choices. Your first choice would be one, we can pre-record episode. Um, we'll probably pick something that doesn't need much audience discussion that we would want. So uh, timeline might change from what we originally had scheduled. The second option is that we can do the live on Wednesday instead of Friday, and I will upload Wednesday's video on Friday instead. So that's what I'm thinking so far. I guess no, I don't have time to prepare for Monday, so yeah, Wednesday would be the earliest I could do it. So let me know what you guys would want. Should we do it on Wednesday live, or should we do something pre-recorded to upload on Friday? Or I guess there's always the third option where we just skip a week and nothing will go up on Friday at all. So let me know down in the comments below, or you can send me a message on any social media and let me know what you guys think. And I'll go back over all this at the end of the stream as well. So, that being said, today's video we are going to be discussing Mandela Effects and conspiracy theories. And I want to go ahead and apologize in advance. I do not feel the best today, so I will do my best to get through all of this. So, Crystal and I discussed it, and she thought, "Hey, our little gingerbread house, how are you doing? I know it's been a rough week for you." Okay. Okay. So, Crystal and I discussed, and she wanted me to go first. So, whoops, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Yeah, it is. Crystal, just so you know, our little gingerbread house lost her puppy. Well, she's not really puppy, but her little princess this week, and my heart breaks for her because I know how hard that is to lose a pet like that. So, well, child, because all my pets are my children. So I know it's hard. And my heart broke for you when you told me that what happened. So I am sorry. Well, I shouldn't say that. I hate when people say I'm sorry. But but yeah. Hi. All right. So what did I say? Crystal said that she wanted me to go first. So we're going to be doing Mandela Effects first because they're going to be quicker to get through. So the first one I want to talk about is Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Now, if you guys don't know what a Mandela effect is, it's basically a bunch of people remember the same thing that supposedly is not real. So here we are. Now, sadly, I know which image is correct on this one, and it's not right. So, how do you guys remember Shaggy from Scooby-Doo? Do you remember him with the Adam's apple, or do you remember him with no Adam's apple? Because for me, I remember him always having an Adam's apple, and the one with no Adam's apple just looks wrong to me, and a whole bunch of people agree with me. Um, so I did this one first because I think this would be a great example to really explain the Mandela effect to people who don't necessarily understand it. So yes, Shaggy apparently does not have an Adam's apple, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I always thought that he had one too.
Right, because I mean, he's got that long neck, and just having the long neck with no Adam's apple just looks he looks like a giraffe, to be honest. I don't know how nice that is to say, but yeah. Um, but yeah, so I'm glad to get this one out because, like I said, I wanted to use this one as the example to kind of explain the Mandela effect to those who didn't know exactly what it was. Anyway, so Crystal is going to go next. So let me find. I did some of these, I did make multiple pictures of so we can kind of see it how, if I could find a one of what everyone thinks is correct is I don't know what I'm saying. Just ignore me. All right.
Okay. Do you need me to say mine first
Yes.
or
Go ahead and start
okay.
talking about yours and I'll get the picture up.
Okay. So for mine, people will swear that there is a Jiffy peanut butter, but there actually is not. It was only Jif.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So I always remember as Jiffy as well. And someone actually, I don't know, I'm pretty sure this is just a mock up someone did, but the next picture I'm about to show you is exactly how I remember as a child. If I can get it to, oh, hold on, I got to do it over here. So that's exactly how I remember. Obviously, not as aged, but that's exactly how I remember the print on the peanut butter when I was a child. Um, so this, now I just lost it. Ugh. Okay, hold on.
Get it together, Melissa.
Well, I'm trying to go back to the other one, and it didn't do it. I gotta share it again. I will figure this out, guys. I promise. This is still new to us. This program, so we're trying to get used to it still. So maybe. All right. So this, like, obviously, that's how it is now, but it doesn't look right to me. The Jiffy is definitely what I remember as a kid. So Jif to me sounds more like the memes, I guess, would, you know what I'm saying? I know they're not called GIF. Well, some will argue it is a GIF, but but yeah. Anyway, so I know I kind of took over your thing. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we got the pictures.
Next one. Who remembers Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas?
I've never seen the movie, so
Oh, okay. So I always because Zero is supposed to basically represent Rudolph. And so I always remember him having just a round red nose. And hold on, I gotta get it separated. Uh, Here we go. Sorry. All right, so this is what it looks like for real. It is an orange pumpkin nose. I don't remember it that way. I remember it more along. I know I got one that. No, that's still showing the. I will show you guys.
Jack o' lantern.
Yeah, I'll show you the more upfront of what they are saying it like what it is. But I don't remember it this way. Like this one, like really didn't make sense to me. So he has a little pumpkin nose that glows orange. I don't remember that. I remember it being more like, why doesn't it do what I want it to do? Is this one? No. Is this one? No. Why isn't it doing what I want it to do? Okay, hold on. I'm really gonna learn how to do this, I promise. Alright. Okay. This one's the best way to show it. I remember it like this. Red nose. But apparently it's never been that way. So, anyway. So, Crystal, your next one is
Looney Tunes.
all right. Let me get it pulled up unless you want to start talking about it before the picture, but the picture probably will explain it better.
Yeah, well, they were cartoons, but it was spelled like musical tunes, which makes sense because they usually sing a lot and played a lot of music. So it was like TUNES and not TOONS. Hello.
All right. So you're saying you remember it this way. You've always remembered it this way.
People remember it the other way on the
Right.
left.
That's how I remember it. Looney Tunes, like
But it's
cartoons.
supposed to be on the right. It's
Yes,
supposed to be
that is the correct one,
the
supposedly.
right way.
But I don't remember it that way. I get that they were like musical, but I don't remember it being tunes like singing. Hi, Anna. So, yeah, this one was definitely weird for me. uh,
No, because it's people remember it as TOONS,
right,
but it's
that's how.
actually
Right, I understand. I remember it as TOONS.
yeah.
Right, but I know it's actually TUNES.
hmm
I'm saying that's why it's weird to me that it's not this one.
Well, like I said, it's because it was. I think it's because it was more musical, and so they did a play on it and did it like that.
I guess, but I don't remember it that way.
And I don't know.
All right, so the next one is about the song Barbie Girl. Who remembers the lyrics to Barbie Girl?
I'm raising my hand even though you can't see me.
All right, so how would you sing Barbie Girl? You can say it, you don't have to sing it.
Well, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. I don't know the tune of it, but you know,
Yeah,
I'm a
okay.
Barbie
That's
girl
that's
in a Barbie
exactly how
world.
everyone remembers it. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, right?
Fantastic. It's fantastic.
But that's right? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, but it's
That's
wrong. I know it's
that's
wrong.
wrong. That's wrong. Apparently, it's I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. What?
So weird.
No. Yeah, weird.
So weird.
Very, very
They
weird.
didn't even try to look like Barbie dolls.
No, not
Honestly.
even.
Get it
Oops, wrong
together,
one.
Aqua. Get it together.
And I'm trying to get all the next ones pulled up here so I can just jump around. All right.
Yeah. Do that. Are you ready?
So, yes, we're ready.
Pika. Pika. Pikachu. Pikachu's tail. People remember the tail having black. But no, it's all yellow.
Which is definitely wrong. Definitely wrong. I definitely want to say that I'm sorry, but this, can y'all even see what I'm doing? This looks so wrong. I'm going to show you.
Yeah, the black one looks like it fits because it goes at the ears. He's
Yeah.
like a little.
So this is what they're saying is the correct Pikachu. And I just I want you guys to look at it and just look how wrong it looks. Let me blow him. Look how wrong that
blow
looks.
him up. You blow that little bastard.
I love Pikachu. Crystal can attest to this. When McDonald's had their Pikachu or their Pokemon toys out, I went every day to get a Happy Meal until I got a Pikachu. So
And then it was a celebration. It was a celebration.
And that little dude sat in my car for years. I still have him somewhere. But yes, they are definitely changing things. So I want to show one more picture of Pikachu because he's my buddy.
That was practically how she ordered the Happy Meal. Pika!
This is what Pikachu should look like. Let me blow him up a little. See how right that looks? That just makes sense there. Why not have the black on the tail? The black on the tail makes sense. The no black on the tail makes no sense at all. Sorry, I'm taking over for you again, Crystal.
Oh, well.
You shouldn't have picked
Pikachu.
You shouldn't have picked ones I was so passionate about.
I know. When I said that I had Pikachu, she was like, no. No.
Yeah, because I was going to do Pikachu, but that's okay. All right, so this next one has a little bit of a story behind it. And we're going to discuss it just a little bit because I don't want to spend too much time on the Mandela Effects. But who remembers this movie? So,
I do.
Apparently, this movie never existed, never was made, doesn't exist. This movie is a lie, apparently. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is, for one, I remember watching this, very, very vividly watching this. And for people to say, oh, you're thinking of the Shaq movie, they look nothing alike. Shaq was in like gold and crap. He's wearing purple. How would you get them mixed up? You're not going to. So there are different. This is going to like throw everyone off and make them think I'm like completely insane. But there are different interviews with Sinbad. And so I'm thinking, and sorry if this really makes me look crazy, but I'm thinking Sinbad is jumping from timelines, because in some of his interviews, he will go off and say, yeah, Sinbad absolutely happened. I remember making that movie. Shazam, sorry. What did I say?
You said Sinbad.
It's because I'm reading his name. Anyway, and then in other interviews, he will be like, I don't know where people are getting this from. I never made this movie. Well, how are we remembering this? We just all remember you dressed as a genie and you never dressed as a genie? I'm sorry. Wrong. So anyway, that's the little story behind Sinbad. And this one here is what really made me, I mean, out of all the popular ones, Berenstain Bears and all those other ones, this was the one that actually made me really start thinking about the Mandela effect and if it's actually a legit thing. So, because I vividly remember watching this movie when I was younger. And you can't tell me otherwise. All right. So the next one is crystals. Let me get it loaded up here. Also, I just figured out that this this computer has, or this program has Google Slides, so I'm going to learn how to do Google Slides so we're not doing this crap next time. So we will be more prepared next time we have to do like presentation style. So here's the first picture for you, Crystal.
Okay. Yeah, so the hyphen and Kit Kat. There actually is no hyphen. People remember there being a hyphen, but there's not. And it's kind of weird. So I remember there being a hyphen.
I remember, yeah, there was definitely a hyphen, and I don't even like Kit Kats, so.
I love Kit Kats. I remember there being a hyphen.
Here's a picture of it side by side, so you guys can see.
Yeah, I remember the first one.
This definitely looks more correct than this one,
Mm-hmm.
but they're saying that this one is wrong, and it just baffles me.
Because people are weird.
Yeah, people are weird. Let's close that out. And okay, so here's another one that, like, when I heard about it, really, really upset me. How do you guys remember the end of the song "We Are the Champions"?
Of the world.
Exactly. We are the champions of the world. No, apparently they never said of the world. It's always just been "We Are the Champions" music. But no. I'm sorry. We listened to this song so many times growing up. When my dad came home from war, that song was playing on the speakers at the airport, the military airport base, where we all went to greet the soldiers coming home. I remember this song vividly. It was played at all of the parties that we went to after they came home from the war. Granted, the war was never actually over, but still, that don't even, we'll talk about the war some other time, but I don't know why this picture isn't coming up. Is it showing on your screen?
No, I have no picture.
That's weird. All right.
It's
Anyway,
not even like cycling like it wants to.
Yeah, it was just a picture of Queen, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, so the next one.
That is a big deal.
I'm just saying it wasn't one that they needed to see a thing of, like a this or that of. So, is this going to show? All right.
There we go. Yeah, so with mine, Hannibal Lecter never actually said hello, Clarice. All he said was good morning. And it's like that iconic line or whatever that everyone remembers him saying, like, hello, Clarice. And it's not even legit.
Yep.
Like, people make memes and stuff off of that. And it's like, it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, no. That's it. I remember it like that too. I don't remember it. Good morning. That sounds boring.
Yeah.
Like, how do millions of people remember him saying, hello, Clarice?
That's creepier, man. Good morning. Like, okay. Like, it's so much creepier for him to be like, hello, Clarice.
Yeah. Exactly. So the next one is another one that both, I think Crystal and I both remember.
Oh, baby, baby.
So this is Britney Spears. Now, Britney Spears has a lot of Mandela Effects, but I chose to choose this particular song, even though the other song, I remember it differently as well. So this one, Um, she's wearing just a plain black skirt for her schoolgirl outfit. I'm sorry. What? No, it's definitely not. This is how I remember it. Well, probably a little less white. It was probably more black and gray, but it was plaid. Definitely plaid. But I remember it like this. And apparently so do a lot of people. And then you have these people in let me see. Can I zoom back out? Then I think there's people from a different dimension remembering it like this.
No.
I don't ever remember it being red, but apparently a lot of people remember it being red, not black plaid. They remember it red plaid. But at least they remember it as plaid. So it was never just black. So then I kept digging, guys. And Britney Spears herself recreated the outfit she wore in Baby One More Time. And what is she wearing? A plaid skirt. This is about like I remember it, where it's more gray and black, less white. But she's still wearing a plaid skirt. An actual, what I call actual schoolgirl outfit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's, what are your guys' thoughts? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Yeah, definitely. I mean, not this plaid either. That just looks wrong. Sorry for whoever, but this is the plaid I like. Like I said, less white, but definitely schoolgirl. Plaid to me is schoolgirl. This doesn't scream schoolgirl to me. This just screams, no offense to anyone out there that thinks this is cute, but well, it's not supposed to be cute, but this just screams slutty. Not slutty schoolgirl like it's supposed to be, just slutty. So, I don't know. You tell me. All right, here's this one really pissed me off. I mean, sorry, made me mad too. But I will let Crystal discuss this one. Let me get it up before you start.
Okay. So, one of these is chartreuse. So, which one do you think it is?
Pink.
Or green?
I remember it being this color.
And you would be wrong.
I would be right. They're wrong. This new timeline is completely wrong.
Chartreuse is green.
Here's another image that they're giving us.
Chartreuse is green. See? Chartreuse.
That just looks wrong. That should be pink. Chartreuse even sounds pink.
It does.
When someone says chartreuse, the first color that comes to mind for me is pink, not green.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That just
it sounds like the color of like puke. It sounds like word vomit.
So this next one, I couldn't find any images the way I personally remember it. So I'm just going to show you. It would help if I get a screen up to actually show you. So I'm just going to show you what I could find. So this, we all know, is the best Superman, the original.
R.I.P., dude.
Who remembers, without looking at this picture, because I'm going to tell you what I remember. Who remembers Superman having red gloves?
No.
I do. I remember him having red gloves that went up to his elbow. So that's, and a bunch of other people apparently remember this as well. So I'm trying to find the other picture. Oh, I could just slide through these. I didn't know that. That's such a game changer. I was sitting here wasting time this whole time, and I can just slide through this crap. Oh, here it is. Again, I couldn't find anything like I remember. But I remember him, and so do a bunch of other people, him having red gloves.
Well, see, you don't find anything because he didn't have red gloves.
Well, you don't find a bunch of crap. I couldn't really find anything for Jiffy. I found a mock-up someone did. But, yeah, it's just weird. So...
Well, again, the mock-up was fake. Jeff is real. Jiffy's not.
All right. There you go.
I can't find the fake Superman. Why?
It's not fake. That's how I remember it. That's put this out here too. If you don't remember something the way I remember it, that doesn't mean my memories are wrong and yours are right. It just means we lived in different timelines at that point.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this is the classic scene from the movie Risky Business. So what is missing from the picture?
I also did one that's better close up, like shows the colors better.
Yep. Yeah, zoom in right there.
Now, tell them there's multiple things wrong with this picture if you want to tell them.
Oh, I've got my... Well, I only noticed like what's in my Mandela effect. So
okay, so what do you remember for this movie?
Oh, he's supposed to have some. Well, according to the Mandela Effect, he's supposed to have sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Or like it says that he wasn't wearing sunglasses in the classic scene, but people think that he was. And I'm assuming socks is there too, or something.
So most people remember him with sunglasses and a white shirt. This is a better scene because old dude was wearing boxers and they remember him just wearing briefs. So we all know this scene from one of the greatest movie, Never Been Kissed. And that's how a lot of people, like if you look up costumes, I thought I had a costume one.
Yeah, like every costume you find, everyone has like sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's always a white shirt, sunglasses, high socks. You can't see the socks in this one, but I think, well, and it's not black socks. He's wearing the wrong color socks. It's definitely white socks, like he's wearing here. So that's right. But everyone remembers him sunglasses, white shirt, no bottoms, just briefs, and white socks. So I definitely don't remember a pink shirt. And granted, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I don't remember it being pink. But because I haven't seen this movie since the 90s probably, I would probably say 90s was the last time I saw it.
I don't know if I've ever watched it and paid all of the attention to it.
And that's why I'm going to leave it up to maybe people just thought, because in most of the movie he does wear sunglasses. So maybe they just assumed And in some of the scenes, like this
I
one,
think he might have had him on and threw him off.
like in this part of the scene, the shirt does look white,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually pink. So maybe people are just misremembering. I don't know. Is it a Mandela effect? Is it not a Mandela effect? This one I couldn't say for sure. Like my memories for sure, because again, I haven't seen it since probably the 90s. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
but um, let's go on to a controversial one. Why don't we? Who remembers Hitler?
I would like not to.
So in school, I remember learning that Hitler wanted an all blonde, blue eyed thing, and
Yeah.
people found that hypocritical because he was brown hair, brown eyes. Apparently, and then in this picture, you can see he's got brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently, that's how. Apparently, he had blue eyes.
Say what?
And I'm sorry, but no. I remember specifically in school, Hitler had brown hair, brown eyes, and he was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Which, interestingly enough, I found an article that said he was definitely had Jewish descent in him, and he also had African descent, like a descendants, whatever, in him as well.
Yeah, I don't think
So
he was like a full Jew. I think he was. Oh, he was from Austria. I think. I think.
I don't
So he.
remember. I just remember he hated Jewish people, which made no sense because he was Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
and he did not like people that were brown hair, brown eyes, which again, people said was hypocritical because he was brown hair, brown eyes. So seeing him here with blue eyes just looks wrong to me. And granted, there's not a lot of color photos of Hitler, and this could have been photoshopped for all I know, because there's not a lot of color photos from back in those days. We do have color photos, like this one. This one is an actual photo, but again, if you zoom in, even if you're going to tell me, oh, he might have blue eyes, it's just the lighting. If you looked at how blue his eyes were in the other picture, even with the lighting, these would look still have some sort of blue to them. But these are brown. They're like dark. No way that his eyes being this blue would even show, like, would even be this dark. You know what I mean?
It's possible someone's trolling with that picture.
And this is a painting done. Now, this one, it looks like they
Those
did,
are eyes.
yeah, it looks like they did like some blue. But again, this is a painting, and they still didn't make his eyes ice blue. This is ice blue. I don't know. You just let us know what you remember in the comments. I remember in school, Hitler was brown haired, brown eyes, and Jewish, and people found him to be a hypocrite. Well, the people he was obviously killing found him to be a hypocrite because of this, because he wanted the Aryan race, is it the Aryan race, to be all blonde hair, blue eyed. So, anyway, let's see if we can find. Oh, we don't want to side by side people. Come on now.
You
Why
get rid of.
Why did it do that?
Get rid of him.
There we go.
Okay.
Now I wonder how I did that though. Can I do that again? How did I do that? Freak. Hold on, maybe shift. Crap.
There you go.
All right. I don't know how that happened. Maybe I had a third picture.
Okay. So, King Henry VIII. People swear that they saw a portrait where the king is holding a turkey leg. Mm-hmm. I know I gave it away.
So,
Well, it's just weird. That's why I'm like,
right.
what are you holding?
And I've seen this Mandela effect as well, that a lot of people remember him holding a turkey leg. I personally have never seen a picture like this
Mm-mm.
for him, and I am a royal enthusiast. I watch every show about royalty, whether it's fiction,
The
like
arm even looks weird.
right. So my only thing is maybe they thought this was a turkey leg, and so someone recreated it to be this. I don't know, but I remember always being like this. And
Yeah,
I
like that looks more like a royal photo.
yeah, I don't want to say I'm like an expert because I'm definitely not a royal expert, but like I said, I watch everything on the on royal people, like the royalty. So what again, whether it's like a fiction show or anything like that, I still watch it because a lot of, believe it or not, the fiction shows do have a lot of historical fact to it. So
Yeah, but that obviously looks fake on the
it does.
leg.
It does. So I wonder if people remember seeing this because someone photoshopped it this way and just all of a sudden it's always been that way. Because like even the clothes are like different colored, and like the cloak is different colored, and
Mm-hmm.
the background's different. So it's almost like someone took this photo and photoshopped it.
Really screwed with it.
Yeah. It's just weird.
I just wonder how it became a Mandela effect that way, though, because like how many people had to look at it enough to be like, "Oh my god, he had a turkey leg."
All right, so this next one, I'm going to put up a picture of how I remember it. Okay? Before I show you the actual photo, this is how I remember it. If you guys don't know, this guy's wearing a Richard Simmons costume because I could not find the actual photo that I was searching for. But I always remember Richard Simmons wearing a sweatband on his forehead and on his wrists. Always.
Yeah.
But apparently, he never did. That just
Weird.
looks weird to me. And I swear I had another one. But it was a web. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Oh, it's just the same picture I showed you. That's weird. Okay. Okay. But yeah. Apparently he never wore a headband or anything like that.
So weird. All right. Which one's different?
I unfortunately know the false information.
Well, the correct answer is neither. Her smile hasn't changed. They've just done other things to the picture, but her smile has never been changed.
So you're saying neither one of these photos is correct?
I'm saying that her smile has never been changed.
Well, because they're saying, everyone's saying this one here is the correct one.
That was the only thing that I got, was that her smile hasn't been altered, because that was the Mandela effect, was that over the years her smile has been changed. But no, she doesn't smile more or less.
It's because most people remember her not smiling at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this one just looks weird to people. Also, another Mandela effect. What color do you think her hair is?
I think it was auburn.
Yep, but people will swear up and down that she had brown hair, but her hair is in fact red. And you can kind of see it in this photo. This one looks more brown for some reason.
I
But
think the veil on her in the left, on the one on the left, there's like a veil over her head.
well, she wears a veil. Oh, yeah, this one's missing. Yeah, so the veil on her head is actually black, and so that made her red hair look more brown, but she has red hair.
So the one on the left is the actual real one.
This is the one, yeah, they're saying is the actual photo. See, this one I I would say is fake just because it's missing the veil. But the smile part is what I remember. I don't remember her having a smile. Like I don't, because I remember
Yeah,
specifically everyone always said she looked sad in her photo,
yeah,
and
like she
so
doesn't smile or whatever, but it's
right.
like,
So this doesn't look sad to me.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, but like you can tell this one's photoshopped in some way because she's missing her veil. She's always had a veil. I didn't notice that at first. I have another picture on here of Mona Lisa. Yep. So this is the actual photo. You can see the veil here. She's smiling, which I guess the movie makes sense because it's called Mona Lisa Smiles, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's not like a huge smile. It's just like,
a grin.
mm-hmm.
But she still doesn't look sad, which is what I remember people saying. She always looked sad.
Probably in her eyes. You know, it's like her eyes don't look like she's.
Yeah. So the next one, I'm going to try to go pretty quick on because it's going to be a little controversial. And I'm going to say this. I don't I don't think this one is the Mandela effect. I think this is just a mistranslation of sorts. So, if you were asked today, what job does Jesus have? What would you say? What was his job?
He was a carpenter's son, I believe. So that's probably what he was doing during that time period and everything. Because there's a lot of time in the Bible that's missing of
Yep.
his life.
So I have my Bible here. Believe it or not, I own one, people. I own a Bible.
And it's not burning in her hands.
It's not burning. It's very old. I got this. God, I wonder if I have the year I got this. No, I don't. But you can see I was young because I wrote things like God rules and signed my name all over the place and drew a smiley. Can you see the smiley face I drew? Probably not. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so Matthew 13:55 says, "Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not this mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Jose, I think it's Jose, and Simon and Judas." So that's that verse. So that specifically says carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
You go to John 14. What am I looking at? What the heck? Just John 14. Oh, here we go. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. This is very important to remember. He's going to prepare a place for you, which means what? Build you a house, right? So then
That-
you go
That's
to Peter 2 verses
what
4 to 5. Hold on. 4 to 5 or 45? Why can't I remember crap? Oh, here we go. To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious, ye also, as lively stones, are built up as spiritual house and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. So here's the supposed Mandela effect, which is where I come off saying I think it's just a misinterpretation. I think because a lot of the new things that they're coming out as Mandela effects is from a new version of the King James Bible. I have a King James version Bible, which is, some would say, the wrong Bible, but it is what it is. The newer versions have been retranslated to take out all the these and thous and crap like that. So people are saying that Jesus was not a carpenter. He was in fact a stonemason. And so it wasn't, now in the new interpretations of the Bible, it calls him a stonemason. And I'm not saying he was ever like an actual wood carpenter before, but in translation, the word carpenter in the, I think it's Greek or Hebrew or something like that language, translates to architect. And back then, houses were built of stone. So I don't necessarily think he was like the carpenter as we know it today, like woodworking and stuff like that. I believe when they said carpenter, they meant architect because he was helping them build homes. So I think that's where the interpretation comes from, stonemason instead of like carpenter, because he was building dwellings and dwellings were made of stone, if that makes any sense. So I don't necessarily think it's a Mandela effect. I think it's just a new translation gone weird. Like, I guess people didn't look up. I looked up. I did my research because I'm like, what was Jesus? I remember it specifically saying he was a carpenter, and I was right. The Bible specifically says he is a carpenter. So I looked up even more, and that's when I learned that the translation from the original language of the Bible, carpenter translates into architect. So I think that's where they got stonemason from, is what I'm saying. I think I've already said that, but I wanted to kind of make it a little more clear. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, do you remember him being a carpenter? So, but would you agree that stonemason could be just
I mean, it's possible that he could have gone into it. I mean, people move on to what the new thing is. So his father being a carpenter doesn't mean that he couldn't have become a
but see,
stonemason, but
apparently
I mean,
if you read more into like the beginning of the Bible, Joseph was also an architect. Like they
yeah.
call him a
I mean,
carpenter,
it's
but
just
he built,
translations. It's all translations. And
right,
the Bible is a game of telephone anyway. You know
right,
this.
yes. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a Mandela effect, but I wanted to include it because a lot of people do find it as a Mandela effect. Like even if you like when I was looking at pictures, all you could find are pictures of Jesus doing like woodwork, but you never seen like you can never find pictures of him building houses or anything like that. He was building like tables and chairs and stuff that the Bible never says he did to begin with. And also, unless we actually lived back during, the BC day or the eight the I guess would be AC days, because I know there's BC and there's AD, but the time between those two. We'll just say the C days. Unless we lived back when Jesus was walking this earth, we don't know for fact what actually he did. We can only go off of and people are going to get mad at me for calling it this, but the stories that were told. And that's literally, I know you guys will get mad at me again for saying this, but they're stories that were told from people that heard this from, God or another man, so
No,
we don't know what's fact. We can only believe what we want to believe. So that's where we're going to leave this one at, because I don't
and
want
like you watch the movie Dogma or whatever. It's like they say there that Jesus jumps from like 12 to 30 or something.
yeah.
So it's like, where are those missing years in his life? What's he doing there?
Right.
So he goes from like learning he's the son of God to suddenly doing all these miracles and stuff. So what's he doing in that time between? So
Right.
we don't know what he's doing. Okay. So this is my last one, and it's the most controversial one of all. So, which of these is the right one? And Melissa is going to tell us which one's the right one.
I'm going to tell you which one I think's the right one, and I know it's not the right one, but the one that is correct and this timeline is wrong about is Stouffer's is the right one.
No. No. That one does not exist. The actual makers of this stuffing is Kraft. Kraft stovetop, which does not make sense.
I found this picture that I'm about to show you guys, and this is supposedly from an old movie set. So
look at that.
Why, if it was never Stouffer's, would an old movie set have Stouffer stovetop stuffing?
Probably just for that reason, for it to be something fake.
And obviously we can tell it was probably a foreign film at that, because they do have a lot of foreign foods, but this was an older movie too, before Mandela Effects were even a thing. So I don't think they would have purposefully said, oh, let's screw with people and, put this in.
Right next to the bottle of vodka.
Right. So now I think that Kraft got tired of this Mandela effect, because if you go to the store today, this is what it looks like. There's no Kraft, there's no Stouffer's. It's just stovetop now.
We'll never know.
Well, yeah, we'll never know. We'll just have to take everyone's word for it. I personally remember Stouffer's because when we lived in Germany, you couldn't get a lot of things unless you went to, like, a lot of American things unless you went to the PX. Stovetop is apparently American, because I specifically remember it being there, and I specifically remember the black Stouffer's. And I even remember my mom saying we need to get some more Stouffer stuffing. Not stovetop. She used to call it Stouffer stuffing. Because this is all my dad makes, well, he hasn't made it in a long time. He gave me the recipe, so I make it now. But the best dressing, which everyone knows dressing is a little bit different from stuffing, but not much. It's basically the same thing. But my mom didn't prefer it. She always wanted Stouffer's stuffing, aka stovetop. So, yeah. Anyway, now we're going to move on to even more controversial things. Conspiracy theories. I want to stress out to you guys, first and foremost, that even if Crystal and I disclose our personal opinions on these conspiracies, everyone is entitled to believe what they choose. I think I said this in a previous video, I can't remember, but I believe every theory is technically a conspiracy theory, even the ones that millions of people consider correct, where just a few consider them wrong. So please keep that in mind when we are just like reading these theories and we go and we tell you our personal opinions if we choose to do so. Please keep that in mind. We are all entitled to our own opinions. So you are entitled to tell us yours in the comments, but please don't bash in any way. Don't tell us we're wrong in any way, and don't tell us we're going to hell or anything like that. These are specifically conspiracy theories that, you know, I looked up ones that I personally have strong feelings on. I left the ones I have really strong feelings on out of this because I don't want to start a war here. So, but anyway, with that being said, my first conspiracy theory is going to be Princess Diana. And I'm going to kind of read my synopsis so before I like go into discussion. All right. So 26 years ago, on August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana died in a fatal car crash in Paris, France. For years, there has been speculation that this was not just an accident, but that it was, in fact, an assassination success pulled off by the British government. There were numerous reports that the driver of her vehicle was drunk and that during the haste of trying to escape the paparazzi was no longer able to keep control and crashed. However,
I thought it was confirmed that he was drunk. Sorry.
However, toxicology reports have come back stating he was not intoxicated. The conspiracy falls here that this plan was orchestrated by the British government. Some say by the Queen's orders, others say by the order of the Prime Minister. By the Prime Minister in secret to keep Diana from exposing too much. Hold on, I just lost my space. Oh, there are probably over 175 theories of what happened that night, and we may honestly never know the truth. So, reason one why people think that this is, what? Why can't I read?
I don't know.
So, people think that this is the British government. According to Mohammed, I will probably say his name wrong, Mohammed Al-Fayed, Diana was pregnant with his son's child, and he believed that the British government would not accept an Egyptian Muslim could eventually be the stepfather to the future King of England. But according to the autopsy reports, there was no sign of pregnancy. But again, I think she was transported back to England and an autopsy was done there. So who is to say they didn't pay off the coroner to hide this fact? Second thing, Diana believed she was going to be killed by the British government. After her divorce from Prince Charles, she felt like her life was in danger. Some say even before the split, she didn't feel safe. A letter that was disclosed by Paul Burrell, Diana's one-time butler, I think it's supposed to be long-time butler, who said he had been given it for safekeeping. It read, "I'm sitting here at my desk today in October, longing for someone to hug me and encourage me to keep strong and hold my head high. This is particular phase in my life is the most dangerous. And then it has like the parenthesis things with dots in between. So I'm guessing they're keeping names out, is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, and a serious head injury in order to make the path clear for Charles to marry. So, third, so we're going to go back to that in the discussion. But third, it is believed that the paparazzi intentionally made the car crash. It is said that a group of paps got together with the intentions of chasing down Diana with the hopes of making it crash. Now, they also say in this part of the theory that the intentions was not to kill her, but to basically cause a minor accident to get front page news before others. Either way, it's sick. The paparazzi are horrible. No matter which of the hundreds of theories you believe, it is a sad tragedy and she is missed. So, we're going to go on to a little bit more of my synopsis and then we're going to really discuss. So, in his book Spare, Prince Harry talks about going to the tunnel and having his driver go through the tunnel at the same speeds in the police report from the night. I want to say it was like 65 miles an hour or something. I don't have the book anymore. I gave it to my brother. He had his driver do this several times and could never figure out how can I cannot talk today. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, he had his driver do this several times and could not figure out how control would have been lost. It was a straight tunnel. His words, not mine. I've never been to Paris, so I don't know. And that even with the flashing of cameras, he does not see why the driver would have had to swerve because there was nothing that he would have had to avoid. Now, okay, so now my opinion kind of goes off his experience in said tunnel. Is maybe there was a car blocking the exit and the driver swerved to avoid driving into that. Again, I'm just thinking of different theories here. This theory isn't new, but most recently come back into light after Prince Harry's book came out. People are thinking the same as me. If he did everything the police report said happened and everything in him says even flashing lights shouldn't have caused a swerve, then what did? Most people have come up with either the driver being paid off, knowing he could die, and he made sure the money would go to his family and carried out the task at hand. But let's go back to the driver was drunk theory. The toxicology report came back negative. So what if he wasn't drunk but was in fact experiencing a diabetic symptom called hyperglycemia? When your blood sugar drops, it can manifest many similar side effects as intoxication. So what if, in fact, not drunk, but having low blood sugar? Again, anything is possible with this theory. We may never actually know the truth, only the truth that they want us to know. So my personal theory is she was, in fact, murdered. I don't personally think that the Queen was behind it. I think the Prime Minister did it. Again, in their opinion, they were protecting the crown. British government, any government for that matter, does what they think they need to do to protect their name. Princess Diana, unfortunately, had already lost her life, but she had been interviewing with a reporter for many, many months before her death. So a lot of articles went out after her death, and a lot of the things she wanted to say was exposed. So I wanted to go back to where they left the names out of the letter she wrote, that someone was planning basically an accident so that Charles could remarry. A lot of people speculate that Camilla actually was the one that had Diana killed, not the government, because she wanted to marry Prince Charles and she wanted to be queen. And I know everyone's saying what I'm probably thinking. How would she think she could possibly achieve that? Because she is a divorcee, first off, and she has no royal blood in her. There's no way she would ever truly be queen. Maybe queen regent, maybe queen consort, but not queen. So apparently, this theory comes all the way back up to present time. And many of you probably know, or maybe you don't know, I don't know. But Camilla actually was crowned queen, not queen consort, not queen regent, but queen. She is the queen of England. And a lot of people have issues with that for many reasons, because if something was to happen to Charles, would, you know, would we go to William? Or because she was actually crowned queen and not queen consort, is she now going to have the throne? Not only that, and I don't know if this part is actual fact or just rumor, but supposedly her children were given royal titles as well. They aren't of royal blood. Supposedly they are not Charles' children. We don't know this. They were having an affair long before him and Princess Diana even got married. And personally, I think he should have stuck up for himself to his mother and said that Camilla was going to be the only one he would marry to begin with. But he didn't do that because the British government wanted him to marry Diana because she was of royal, like she actually had, I don't want to say royal blood, but she was actually, what's the word I'm looking for? She had a bigger title. Like she actually had a title, and Camilla did not have a title. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. So that's my theory on Princess Diana. And so, what do you guys think? What are you? Yeah.
I always thought that the driver was drunk or something, that there was something wrong with him, that it wasn't just paparazzi chasing them, that there was something wrong, and that's what caused the crash.
Right. And that's what a lot of people thought. But again, the toxicology report came back negative. So that's where I put in my own like hypothesis of that. Not really my theory. It's not some I don't believe the driver actually had anything to do with the crash personally. But if it was in fact an accident, and
They were going like really, really fast though.
yeah, they were going about 65 miles an hour, somewhere around there. So they were going
I
too
thought it was
fast.
like I thought it was
It,
like kilometers or
whatever it broke down to, it was like 65 miles an hour,
I thought they were
somewhere
going
around
fast
there.
as that.
They weren't going. They weren't going much faster than that because the speed limit through the tunnel, I believe, Prince Harry said was like 15, 20 miles an hour. Because he in the book, it's all converted to normal English.
I thought they were going like 100.
No, not according to Prince Harry. Not according to the police report, anyway, because he went off the police report. So the police report apparently said it was. Hold on. Um, yeah, 65 miles per hour, which is 104 kilometers. So you might be thinking of the kilometers that they put in there,
Okay.
but it's 65 miles per hour. So, but anyway, that's that's where it goes back to maybe because the toxicology report came back negative. That's why I said maybe he was diabetic and didn't know it and was having an episode. Maybe his blood sugar was low, and so he was suffering for, you know what I mean? So, because the toxicology report came back negative for alcohol. But anyway, your story now.
Okay, well, my first one is that the moon landing never actually happened. Some people claim that some or all of the elements of the Apollo program and the associated moon landings were hoaxes staged by NASA. And so, like, the most notable claim is that the 6 crewed landings between 1969 and 1972 were all faked, and that 12 Apollo astronauts did not actually walk on the moon. Like, there's various groups of people that have made claims since the mid-70s that NASA and others knowingly misled the public into believing the landings happened by manufacturing and tampering with, like, destroying evidence, photos, telemetry tapes, radio, television transmissions, and then, like, moon rock samples. There is third-party evidence that the landings exist and detailed rebuttals to this hoax. But, and like, since the late 2000s, high-definition photos taken by the orbiter of and at the Apollo landing site have captured lunar module descent stages and tracks left by astronauts and everything. In 2012, images were released showing 5 of the 6 Apollo missions American flags that are still erected on the moon, like, still standing. This exception is that of Apollo 11, which has lain on the lunar surface since being blown over by the lunar module ascent propulsion system. So one of them's apparently been knocked over. And despite the fact that they have demonstrably false and universally regarded as pseudoscience, these conspiracy theories have held public interest for more than 40 years. So, let's see. Opinion polls taken in various locations have shown that between 6 and 20% of Americans, 25% of Britons, 28% of Russians surveyed believe that the crewed landings were faked. And even as late as 2001, the Fox television network documentary Conspiracy Theory, Did We Land on the Moon?, claimed NASA faked the first landing in 1969 to win the space race. And there's like another section here for like claims and rebuttals, but it's just different people, like, with their different, like, theories and stuff like that, where they talk about, like, the American flag, how it doesn't move, and then they're like, well, they put rods in it, because there's no air flow, like, the moon doesn't have, like, wind like we do here, so the flag isn't going to it's not going to wave in the air. And the way, like, the way stuff moves and stuff is different, and it's just all this stuff. Sorry. And then they're like, well, who filmed Neil Armstrong stepping onto the moon? And so, like, well, there's cameras on the lunar module, and they did it. The Apollo TV camera mounted on the modularized equipment stowage assembly of the Apollo lunar module gave a view from the exterior. So there didn't need to be someone else there. The equipment that they brought with them filmed, from the outside. It's like having a GoPro or something attached to your car that we have now. It's like they had it on the outside of their ship, and so he's out there, and it filmed him being outside. So there didn't need to be someone out there filming him. And they transmitted the waves down to Earth, and then we were able to see it. Well, not us, but and so it's like film in the cameras would have been fogged by this radiation. And it says the film was kept in metal containers that stopped radiation from fogging the film's emulsion. Furthermore, the film carried by uncrewed lunar probes such as the Lunar Orbital and Luna 3, which used onboard film development processes, was not fogged. So it's just stuff like that. So it's just a whole bunch of, they debunked everything. And like they said something and then they debunked it. So it's just a bunch of hooey. But yeah. And like there's also like so it's been debunked like so many times, but people just want to keep throwing stuff out there, just trying to like, no, you didn't. And then NASA's like, yes, we did. So that's basically what it is. It's just people just want to not believe, and then they just keep telling them, yes, we did. I mean, seriously, no, there's people are just gonna, and that's just all it is. People are just gonna. That's basically it. It's just people want to believe that we didn't, but we did.
So I don't think it's fake either. I think we really did go to the moon, but I think a lot of people believe we didn't because we haven't been back. And so
yeah,
I think that's where a lot of these conspiracy theories come from, is like, if we really went to the moon, why haven't, with our newest technology, why haven't we been back?
Well, I think it's like we have been back. It's just there's no men have been there. But we send probes and stuff like that all the time.
Right,
like
but they're talking about men. Why haven't we sent men back to the moon? Why are we only sending robots? If man had already stepped on moon, which again, I'm not saying I think it's fake. I'm trying to think like, the conspiracy theorists. If a man had already stepped on the surface of the moon, why, with our newest technologies, have we not sent a man back to the moon? Then that's where they're coming from. Yeah, we're sending probes and computers and everything else, but you're saying the moon is safe for man to walk on, that the surface of the moon is safe to walk on. So why have we not sent, and none of the space programs have, none of the other countries have sent man to the moon since then. So why is no space program sending men to the moon now? With our most recent technologies, we're even more capable of safely getting someone to the moon.
Because they're focused on going to Mars.
But should that be the focus?
They've already made it to the moon.
They've made it to Mars, technically.
Yeah, they've made it to Mars, but they haven't been able to get a man on Mars.
But again, we're going to go back to what they're saying.
Why focus on putting a man on the moon when you've already done it, when you haven't put a man on Mars?
But I think their focus on Mars is for the wrong reason, because they're talking about trying to get man on Mars to colonize it. But it's already been proven that we can't really colonize on Mars unless we all live in bubbles.
Unless, they're able to get there and do something to the environment.
I don't know.
But they
But
have to
either
get
way,
there first.
I was just trying to think like a conspiracy theorist.
I realize that, but what I'm saying is, they have to figure out. I think that's what they're doing. I think they want to figure out how to go to Mars or something first. And that's what they're doing. They want to figure out how to go somewhere else. And they're not worried about the moon because they've been to the moon.
Supposedly that's what they're doing, but in reality, what most of them are doing is figuring out a way to get more millionaires up into the space to collect all their millions of dollars.
They are also working on other kinds of technology too. I mean, they're not just working on going into space, they're working on doing other things.
Why do we need to work on going into space if we've already been in space?
That's part of it. I mean, I think that's part of it too. There's a lot of people that aren't really interested in space. Hey, Michelle.
Oh,
NASA.
the millionaires that are getting put on the rockets to go up into space just to come right back down.
Plus, Elon made his own little SpaceX thing, and so
but
he wants
we also have to remember that Elon Musk is now the one providing most of the money to the space program. So they're going to do what he wants.
Yeah. And it's like, if they feel like interest has died down or whatever, it's like they don't want to go if people don't feel like they want them to go. It's like, if y'all don't want us to go up, then why are we going to go up?
Right.
It's like they're not exactly known for, it's like they've had some disasters in their day. So they need to make sure their stuff works before they send people up. Not trying to be shady, just saying.
Yeah.
They found a door in Mars? Yeah, see? She said they found a door in Mars. See, they're going to put people there.
Oh. So maybe someone from another planet's already tried to colonize on Mars and failed.
Mm-hmm. See? Told you. They're colonizing Mars.
Trying.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever they tell you outright about something, you should worry.
I don't think I'd be afraid of aliens. I feel like they'd be more intellectual than us. And I honestly, this is my personal opinion, it's going to really make people mad, but I think the aliens don't want nothing to do with our newer generation because most of them are a bunch of idiots. So, I'm not worried about aliens. In fact, I would probably go with them willingly at this point. I'd be like, you know what? Your world can't be any worse than what this one's about to become. And you have to remember, I'm coming from our future generation are the ones that ate Tide Pods. Just remember that. Our future generation are the ones that ate Tide Pods, thinking it was okay.
On purpose.
Yeah. So, or, putting Gorilla Glue in their hair and she's probably actually from our generation, in fact.
That's what I was about to say. She's like our age, and
yeah,
so
but I think she was trying to be a Gen. What are they? Gen Zs? I don't know.
They're Gen Zs. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh. No, she's closer to our age, I think, and that's what's sad. Like,
yeah, which still, like, technically, like, if you go by
there's Gorilla Glue hair care, and I think that's what she thought she had. Like, how do you not know what you
there's
have?
not Gorilla Glue hair care.
Yeah, there is.
They must have just come out with it then because they did not have Gorilla Glue hair care.
There's a hair care product that's called Gorilla Glue, but it's different.
I don't think she
She did not have the right kind. So it's like, how can you not
I don't
know?
think she thought it was hair care stuff. I thought she ran I'm pretty sure she even said she ran out of her normal stuff and figured it would be fine.
I
So,
don't know. But someone said that there's like a hair care product that's made with like water.
Michelle, I'm pretty sure you are millennial or you're not millennial. You're Gen X because
Yeah, Gen X.
because of my age, they tell me I'm a millennial, but then they tell me I'm a zennial because I fall right in there. So I consider myself Gen X because I definitely don't agree with a lot of the millennial ways. So, um, but yeah. Um, so yeah. So the next theory we're going to talk about is the Titanic. So I'm going to read my synopsis. This is on Crystal will probably tell you I'm a fanatic. I watch everything on the Titanic even before the movie came out in 1997. I was all about the Titanic, so here we go. All right. There are theories that suggest the Titanic actually never sank. In fact, the ship that sank was actually the Olympic. So the story goes that while the Titanic was being built, the Olympic was on its fifth voyage, and when it ran into some trouble and crashed into another ship, the Olympic was able to make it back to the port with its damages. So here's where the conspiracy starts happening. The Olympic and the Titanic are sister ships, basically identical. There are very subtle differences. So the theory goes that the White Star Line secretly switched the Titanic and the Olympic um, while they were in port. They were both being stored side by side because the Titanic was still being built and the Olympic had major damage from the crash. So, someone from the company apparently went in and changed the names on the ships. They apparently paid off the employees they needed um, to help with this. The designs for the Olympic repairs and remodel made it look identical to the Titanic's image designs. Basically, they were making an identical twin of the Titanic. And then I know what you're thinking. So the why? So the theory goes that the damage to the Olympic were so bad it would take too much to fully repair it to perfect working order. So instead of repairing it completely, they just changed out some of the inner designs and patched up the outside damages because it was cheap because it was a cheaper option. They then changed the name on the outside of the boat. I know what you're thinking. Someone would have come forward. Well, like I said, they paid off the few employees who knew about the changes. They literally changed the names on the ships, and the other employees either didn't realize it or didn't say anything because at this point, the ships were close to the same level of doneness. Next, you're probably wondering, why would they go through all this trouble? Well, let's get to that. So, theory is that they paid off the captain. He was to cause the ship to sink somehow so they could get the insurance money. The sinking was supposed to happen closer to New York, but nature had other things in mind. Now, granted, the captain received several notices about the iceberg and he ignored them. Most likely, he figured if the ships sending these warnings are nearby, if they were to hit the iceberg, then it wouldn't be a big deal because every warning he got about the iceberg and the other floating ice in the water and how bad it was and that those ships would be staying put until daylight. Once the Titanic actually hit the iceberg, distress signals went out. Sorry, went out to the nearby ships, and the closest one never responded. And as the time went on, the captain realized he made a big mistake. This is why when people were being put into lifeboats, the captain didn't go. He knew if he survived this, he would have to answer for what he did and felt like he deserved to go down with the ship. Now you're probably asking, what was asking? He was originally going to sink the ship closer to New York. How was he going to do that? Easy. Apparently, the original plan was for him to evacuate the bottom of the ship. I just lost my spot. Oh, where the coal workers were throwing in the coal and whatnot, and to set off a pre-placed charge that would have been strong enough to put a small hole in the ship but not explode the ship. It would cause the ship to sink slowly, but not to be savable from sinking, and close enough that even though there were not enough lifeboats for people, the other boats could make it out to help people get to safety. Now there are people who don't think this is possible because of things like it's simply impossible to pass off a 1-year-old ship for a new one, pointing to the number of small differences between the two, including additional steel plates that were fitted to the bed plates of the Olympics engines. But honestly, how hard would it be to switch the plates? I honestly never believed this theory until I visited the Titanic Museum, and they had a whole section on the Olympic and the wreck and all the design changes to it, etc. It even showed pictures of the Titanic and the Olympics sitting side by side, and anyone not really looking too closely at them, they were identical on the outside, minus a few portholes. But then again, people didn't look that closely. Others say it didn't make sense for this to be done because the Titanic cost $7.5 million to build, but was only insured for $5 million. But what they don't tell you is that the repair cost for the Olympic supposedly was over half the cost of what it originally cost to build. So, here's my thing on the Titanic. I do think it was a cover-up, and I do think the original ship that they sank is not the Titanic, but the Olympic. And my theory was actually confirmed, in my opinion, when I went to the Titanic Museum. And I was baffled, like, why would you have a whole section about the Olympic? They had like diagrams of the ships side by side. They were identical except for 2 portholes. And unless you look really closely, you don't even notice that the portholes are different, like, because they're basically all the same except for on the Titanic there's 2 less portholes, but the way it's spread out, it's very hard to tell. Do I think the captain was in on it? Probably, because captains don't generally, especially one that's about to retire, don't generally just say to hell with it and decide to go down with their ship, especially when their people are saving room for them on a lifeboat so that they can go as well.
He might have thought they were going to put more lifeboats on the boat too.
Well, yeah, probably. Now, the original architect, he also went down with the ship, and he did it because apparently he didn't realize they switched the ships. He designed both ships, and but when he designed the Titanic, he designed it to be stronger than the Olympic. They were sister ships, identical in almost every way, but the Titanic had is it steel? I don't remember, like extra steel or something like that, more reinforced, so to make them stronger, so that if they were to, say, hit an iceberg, it would dent it, but it wouldn't like break it open. Anyway, so he didn't realize, apparently, this is just all hypothetical because, again, we can't know for sure, but theory says
Go back and ask.
right. theory says that um, he, like later on in the voyage, realized that that was not the Titanic. That was not the Titanic he designed. And when it started sinking, he didn't want to go back to a world that would be disappointed in him and call him a murderer and all this other things, because his ship was supposed to be unsinkable. That was his whole thing. It's the unsinkable ship, and it sank. So, and again, I know this is probably like too soon to even talk about the Titanic because of what just recently happened, but this is like the original sinking theory. So, and it's something I'm really passionate about.
I wouldn't blame the Titanic for that.
Well, that goes more into the theory though, because now people believe that the Titanic is cursed and has put a curse on, because apparently when the submarines, like if you remember in the movie, um how they showed actual footage of submarines going down to the Titanic and stuff like that. Now, a lot of the footage they showed of things being removed from the ship was actually fake, but the real voyagers actually did remove items from the ocean floor and from the ship with their little claw doodads. And so it's said that the because of that, there's a curse on anyone now who tries to visit the Titanic, because they messed with basically a graveyard. They took things from people's resting place that should have just stayed there. And I agree with that. I think it's okay to go down there, take pictures, and, get a look at the ship. But to go down there and take things, I don't agree with that. So, not saying that there is a curse on it, but that's another theory that people put out there. Because it seems like even before this most recent tragedy, that there has been a lot of people that, like, especially from the original crew who actually brought stuff back, have said that bad things have just happened to them since they went down to the Titanic. So whether we believe that or not, it's a different story. But I do feel like the White Star Line did plan for this. I believe they used the Olympic to collect insurance money, because like I said, the reports for the damages of the Olympic, the original estimate, because even back then they gave estimates on everything, and there's paperwork for everything. And the original estimate was more than half of what the original Olympic cost to be built. Granted, the Olympic costs a lot less to build than the Titanic, because remember, the Titanic has the reinforced, I think it's steel. If I remember correctly, it's like reinforced steel. Whereas the Olympic just had like the one sheet sort of situation, not reinforced.
I think the Olympics sank not long after the Titanic, didn't it?
I don't remember. I didn't look it up, but you mean the Titanic sank not long after the Olympic. But anyway, if we're going by my theory, the Olympic actually was the one everyone was on board. But I don't remember when. I don't think it sank. Let's Google that real quick. I think it just got decommissioned. I gotta get past all the conspiracy things first. All right. Let's see what happened to the Olympic and the Britannia. The Britannia was also a sister ship of the Titanic, and it also looked pretty much identical, except for I believe it was smaller. It was either the smallest of the three or the largest of. I'm pretty sure it was the smallest of the three. But I'm not gonna look that up. All right, so the Olympus is actually the sole survivor of the three ships.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
The
Britannic sank.
I'm pretty sure it. Uh, um, it doesn't say when it doesn't say in this article when it stopped going out, but yeah, anyway, not
Yeah, it's
important.
last. It went out of service April 12th, 1935.
Okay. So I didn't think it sank, um but yeah, they had a whole thing on it at the Titanic Museum, and that's just like when I was looking at it, I'm like, this like actually fits my whole theory because
It's going to be
I
demolished.
had I had this theory like for the longest time, and then I went to this museum and I was like, this makes sense. This is exactly what my theory was. I mean, granted, I didn't necessarily say it was the Olympic. I said that it wasn't the Titanic that sank, it was a different ship that sank, and that it was all a ruse. Um, anyway, go on. Let's get on with your next theory before I get to my last one and really make people mad.
Okay. Pull my thing up. Okay. So, my next one is that this is just a conspiracy theory. I don't believe in this, but people believe that the Earth is flat, and this is an archaic and scientifically disproven conception of the Earth's shape as a plane or disk. Many ancient cultures subscribed to a flat Earth cosmography. Let's see. The idea of a spherical Earth appeared in ancient Greek philosophy with Pythagoras. However, most pre-Socratics retained the flat Earth model. In the early 4th century, this is old, BC, Plato wrote about a spherical Earth. Finally got some brains coming in here. By about 330 BC, his former student Aristotle had provided strong empirical evidence for a spherical Earth. Knowledge of the Earth's global shape gradually began to spread beyond the Hellenistic world. By the early period of the Christian Church, the spherical view was widely held, with some notable exceptions. It is a historical myth that medieval Europeans generally thought the Earth was flat. This myth was created in the 17th century by Protestants to argue against Catholic teachings. Okay. Despite the scientific fact and obvious effects of the Earth's sphericity, pseudo-scientific flat Earth conspiracy theories are espoused by modern flat Earth societies and increasingly by unaffiliated individuals using social media. And let's see, modern flat Earth beliefs. There's the Flat Earth Society. Let's see. So people will create like YouTube channels and stuff to spread the beliefs of flat Earth. I know it spreads, like there's a whole bunch of people that get online and everything and talk about. I read something or saw something somewhere where someone said that their like 1-year-old child like saw a globe and they pointed at it and they were like, "Daddy, what is this? Why are they spreading lies?" And it's like, really? What? Like, seriously?
Again, remember, everyone's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah. All the comments about it were like, wait, you have a 1-year-old child and they speak like that? Like, what 1-year-old child is like goes into a toy store and the first thing they run to is a globe? And they're like, the toy store is spreading lies. That's really about all I have. Is just
I don't know. But I guess if you think the Earth is flat, you're welcome to it, and I hope you find the edge and fall off of it. But
Now, I personally think the Earth is round, and here's my reasoning why. An airplane can go from New York to Japan. An airplane can go from New York or California to Japan, the opposite way. If the Earth was flat, that would not be possible. So
no,
I want to know how they predict that. Are they going to say that we're actually not going that way from California? We're actually going this way from California, and we just don't realize we got turned around, and then we're teleporting through time, because a trip from California to Japan is a lot shorter than a trip from New York to Japan. So I don't know. That's just where I get off saying, how do they get by proving that the Earth is flat when we have global type flight patterns? That's all I'm saying. Anyone else want to add to the flat Earth? Yeah. Over. Oh, I do think there are technically four. I wouldn't call them corners. I think that there's four access points of Earth. So, because I'm not saying, we all know I'm not like a very religious person. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. But
yeah.
this thing where God says four corners, I don't think he meant it literally. I think he meant four access points. So
Yeah.
where a lot of times, and that's, sorry, I didn't mean to roll my eyes at that. I think people, because we talked about the Bible earlier, I think people take it way too literally, and that they take the translation, like they read it, they don't take it and translate it in a way that it should be translated. They take it literally, if that makes any sense. So that's true. And a lot of times back then, you just knew what you could walk to. And once you reached the ocean, it was like the end of the world, basically, because you didn't realize there were other countries and continents. And actually, I wonder if I can find it, like what the Earth, what the, let me see if I can find it. Images. I always do this to you guys where I'm like, let me find it. Here we are. So I'm just going to blow this up here. And let me make this bigger. See if I can make this bigger. Okay. Let me save this photo so I can make it bigger. All right. Earth.
I think we were talking about that earlier with the Bible, where people take it word for they take it word for word instead of a moral guide.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was meaning. They take this book literally instead of as the guidebook that it was designed to be. Like, yes,
because
it's like,
it's stories. It's not,
and
you
it's
know.
like Crystal said earlier, and again, no disrespect, because again, I am a spiritual person, not religious. So, but like Crystal said earlier, the Bible is basically a game of telephone. It's God said to this person, who said to this person, who said to this person, who said to this person. So who's to say?
And it's been rewritten so many times.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many different versions of it and everything too. So you can't look at like one book and be like, this is the one.
All right. So this is what they say that the Earth looked like before the Big Bang. And
Yeah,
the
it was
big
like Pangea.
and then the Big Bang caused everyone to split.
Yeah, because there
And
was one big continent.
yeah, which is why, we can find dinosaur bones here and here and here, and we can find dinosaur bones anywhere because supposedly
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs were on the earth before humans.
Yeah, it's like
So,
you'll find dinosaurs, like dinosaur bones anywhere because, you know, because the earth used to be one big area
right.
and then it all split. And that's why if you look at the continents, you'll see like they can all connect to each other.
Hmm. And again, I know not everyone believes in the Big Bang theory, so um oh, exactly, because this is mine. I've had this since I was, I want to say 10 or 11. I got this. And it's, if you look at the Bibles now, they are translated even more, how can I say it? They've dumbed it down even more. Like they
Yeah.
took out all the these, thous, thou. They took all those out. They basically made it to where if you are 5 years old, you can understand what it's saying.
Let me
They
go grab my Bible and we'll look at the same verse and see what they say.
well, didn't I buy your Bible?
No, I got a Bible after I moved here. Remember that
Oh,
lady I was telling you about?
what happened to the one I bought you?
I don't know, but that lady I was telling you about, she gave me a Bible.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
So
go
let me
get
go
that
grab
because
it.
she was what, Jehovah's Witness. So
Yes.
yeah, go grab that Bible. I want to see what their Bible says.
We'll compare Bible notes.
No offense if you're Jehovah's Witness. We're not hating on any religions. Everyone is entitled to believe what they choose. Again, I'm not spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I believe there's God, guys. I do believe in God. Before anyone starts thinking I'm some sort of like heathen, I do believe in God. Oh no. Okay, well, we went dark. My light died. I can plug it into the computer.
Okay. I've got a Holy Scriptures.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my light back on. It died. Oh no.
No.
Oh no. I think it
What?
really died. That sucks. I got this on clearance at the Hobby Lob. You'd think
No.
it'd be good quality. Maybe it just needs to charge. See, oh, okay. Well, guys, sorry, quality's bad now. I guess I'm gonna have to like actually invest in a good light. I'm gonna charge up my power bank and see if it works next time, but we'll see. Okay, now what verse are we looking up?
I don't know. You tell me, where you at?
Let's do Michelle. Give us a verse. That's right. They wronged me. This, and let me show you what I'm talking about. This was a ring light they had on clearance. I was like, you know what, $10, I'll try it.
Well, now
Yeah.
you know why.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, I might need to go and check there. I always forget about Five Below, and
I
it's
do
right
too.
next to Hobby Lobby, so I should go check that out. Isaiah
Isaiah
40:20.
40:22.
Okay, so let me look in my thing to find Isaiah. Crystal's obviously faster than me because I'm still trying to find it in my table of contents here. Here we go. Page 436 in the Old Testament. And then she said 40, chapter 40.
Oh, here's Isaiah.
40, verse 22. Okay, I got it. So you want to read yours first, or should I read mine since mine's probably older than yours? 40, 22.
Okay. Let's see. There is one who dwells above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers. He is stretching out the heavens like a fine gauze, and he spreads them out like a tent to dwell in.
So mine says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in."
Yeah, so see, game and telephone.
Now, I think your version is newer, and they just, like I said, they try to dumb it down some and make it easier for people to understand. Go to John 3:16, just because that's one of my favorite verses, the most common verse.
I was almost there. I think I had it like. I think I had that page like put there. Hang on. John 3. Yeah, John 3:16. For God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, so that everyone exercising faith in him might not be destroyed, but have everlasting life.
Okay, and mine says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." So yours kind of, in my opinion, yours kind of doesn't. I mean, it makes it more complicated. The other one, gosh, I lost it. John 11:26. I know we're getting into the Bible here now. We went from flat Earth to the Bible. But you know what? That's okay. That's
Fine. John 11:26.
yeah, because that used to be one of my favorites as well.
And everyone who is living and exercises faith in me will never die at all. Do you believe this?
Mine says, "And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this?" See, yours doesn't. Yours takes believe and puts in that other word. I forget what the word is, but it's not believe.
And everyone who is living and exercises faith in me
Exercising
will never
faith. That's what they say. Exercising faith.
See, this one doesn't do like the vows and arts and
Right. Well,
vow.
none of the newer versions do that though. They took all of that out of the newest version of the Bible. They don't say all thous and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mine's got
So
little footnotes and things.
also look, mine has like a map of the 12 tribes.
I've got a map in here.
Is yours of the 12 tribes?
I'm looking. I saw it and I lost it. I'm going back to it.
Oh, and it's got a map of the ministry of Jesus too. So that's kind of cool.
That's the spread of Christianity. I've got the first missionary tour, the second missionary tour, the first imprisonment of Rome.
Right, Michelle, you're right. Her version doesn't leave much to interpretation as mine does, because mine kind of just like makes you really have to think, what was he really saying here? Where hers is like,
Mine's Paul's Travels.
yeah.
Oh, mine tells you like the weight of a shekel and the
Okay.
pound and
Do not be afraid is repeated 365 times in the Bible. You know, I'll be honest with you. I've read parts of the Bible, but I started the whole read the Bible front to back thing, and I got through Genesis and said, nope, not doing it, because the book of Genesis, in my opinion, is probably one of the most hypocritical books there is. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Once we read like how old people got, we were kind of like, ew.
Well, it wasn't even that. It talks about how Adam and Eve were the only people on earth that God
CE, like CE. That's the time of Jesus's life on earth, like BCE.
Oh, okay.
So he died in 33 CE.
Okay. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about COVID-19, shall we?
I didn't do my like.
Yes, we did. We did flat Earth.
Oh yeah, it's your turn.
You're last. You wanted to be last this time.
I forgot.
All right. So, for the sake of the algorithm, we're gonna call it the Rona. So here's the thing. I'm gonna just brief over my synopsis because I can pretty much talk to you about this without a synopsis. But a lot of people blame these are the theories. A lot of people blame it on 5G. Some say that Bill Gates, it's his fault because in 2015 during a TED Talk, he was talking about the Ebola outbreak and warned of a new pandemic. And then other people say it's all the GMOs. So, now there are some who believe that this was created in a lab and that it was released as a biological weapon by the United Nations. So, now, this is why I'm not going to read the synopsis because I didn't really write much of it because I'm like, here's the thing. I believe it was created in a lab. I don't believe someone ate a bat. I think that theory is just stupid. No offense to anyone who believes that, but a lab, but China can't convince me of that.
I think I heard that it was like China.
Right. It's a lab in China, and it's a United Nations owned lab. So it's the one that like all the countries part of the United Nations are part of. I think it's called the WHO or something like that. Anyway, it's their lab that's in China. And apparently they're saying that this virus got started because someone ate a bat that was infected. That they were experimenting with bats and injecting it with the serum and something of whatever. The reason I don't believe this is because many studies have been done that showed that animals cannot be infected with the coronavirus that has infected the humans. There is a coronavirus that can affect animals, but it's completely different from the virus that we have gotten that went around and, affected a lot of people.
I think there's like very few diseases that we have that go into animals.
Right. But the reason everyone believed this, though, is because if you do your research, there is a virus called Rona. And it's just called, well, the
Mm-hmm.
core part, but it's just called that. There's no number on it or anything like that. And it specifically talks about how it affects animals and stuff like that. And it's been around for ages. So I think the virus was created by this lab using infected animals to see how it would interact with people. And I believe this is I'm glad we're doing this one and not the other one that people would really hate me on, but I believe that this was intentionally released. It's called COVID-19 because it was released supposedly in 2019. Well, it's because the first case documented was in 2019. That's why it's 19. But many believe that they actually been infecting people with this virus for years, trying to make it more deadly because they wanted to use it as a biological weapon. And so when they had their first casualty, they figured it was ready and released it. Again, this is just a theory, and it's not just a theory. I believe it's a theory a lot of people believe. And so when it was first released, it was spreading really quick, causing a lot of fatalities. But I don't think they realized that, like every other virus ever spread throughout the histories, that the more it spread, the less potent it is. And the less fatal would, I guess, be the right word. So it loses its thing. So if you've ever played the game Pandemic and you get so mad at Madagascar because they shut down their darn
Oh my
borders
god.
and
I
stuff like
hate
that,
yeah.
that's basically what they were trying to do. They were trying to see, they were playing a game of Pandemic. They were trying to see how far they could get, how far this would spread.
Before all the places shut their borders down.
Right. And obviously, I didn't follow who was shutting. Actually, I don't think very many shut the borders down for the longest time. Um,
Well, look at
but
who we had in charge at the time.
yeah, we're not going to talk about that either. Old and young. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, shoot. So here's the where most of the conspiracy theories come from. I don't know if you guys seen this thing spread around the internet saying like in 1820 we had this, in 1920 we had this. So they're saying like all the 20s we had some major thing. But a lot of those they did happen in the 20s, but they weren't considered pandemics because they were pretty isolated. Like they stayed within a continent. They didn't spread throughout the world.
They also didn't have the means of travel like we do now.
Exactly. But um, it is also believed that throughout the years, all of these diseases that we have come across were spread by people in power to thin out the population because they felt like we were becoming overpopulated. So many believe that's why the Rona was sent out as a biological weapon, was to thin the herd, so to say, because they believe that Earth is becoming too populated. So don't be
But
surprised.
you don't want my opinion on this. You really don't want my opinion on this.
So don't be surprised because another thing I read that is that in 7 years from so 2027, between 2027 and 2030, that another biological weapon is going to be released that is supposed to wipe out like 80% of Earth's population. It's a theory, supposedly, because they are learning from what they released in 2019. So, um,
Nike.
so, gosh, there was more I wanted to say. Da, 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 da. I guess I kind of lost my thought. Um, anyway, so I don't know. I personally I personally do believe it was something done by the government. I don't believe it was an accident. Um, especially since it came from a United Nations owned building, not just a China owned building. And that was the thing that really, like, people started disliking the Chinese government after this happened because of this virus being released. But we have to remember that the United Nations has a lot of footings in every country. So if it is United Nations owned, that means it's basically world owned. The higher powers of the world, some even say the Illuminati, um, own these businesses. So, but that is my personal opinion. I don't believe it was an accident that it was released. So, oh, right. Yeah, that was, and that's what I was trying to explain to my younger brother who was like, wear a mask, wear a mask, you have to wear a mask. It's not gonna listen. I wore a mask when I went out because, I'm vulnerable. I have diabetes and whatnot. So so I did wear a mask, but I was definitely not on board with the masks. Like at work, my boss was really fine if we didn't wear masks as long as there was no one in the lobby. So um but yeah, like I tried to explain, if I cough, this piece of cloth, it might help, but if I can smell everything that's going on outside the mask, especially when I went to the hospital and my cloth mask wasn't good enough, I had to wear a paper mask. That really got me. Did you just send me gorilla glue? Gorilla snot?
Yeah, because that's what that lady put in her hair. Was she
That's
thought
not
she
what she
she thought that
that's
she
not what
had
she thought.
gorilla snot.
She knew what she was putting in her hair.
She thought she had gorilla
No,
snot.
she did not think that. She even admitted she thought it was going to work and didn't realize that it wouldn't
Well,
wash
she
out.
thought that since there's a thing called gorilla snot, that gorilla glue would do the same thing.
That's probably just what she told everyone. She's a freaking
Probably.
idiot. Anyway, but yes, yeah. See, I'm not going to stop talking to my brother about it, but me and him just agree to disagree on the whole mask thing because, like I told him, why do I have to wear a paper mask at the hospital that's a lot thinner than my cloth mask? It just makes no sense, especially when a hospital is where diseases apparently are, right? So, and actually, um, I had a doctor tell me I shouldn't wear a mask because I went to a doctor one time, and you know how they check your oxygen level? Well, mine was so low, he told me to take off the mask and sit for 5 minutes. I took off the mask, sat for 5 minutes, he checked it again, and was back to normal. So he said, okay, I'm going to leave this on you, put your mask back on. And we sat there and he watched my oxygen level on the little monitor thing just go down and go down. He says, you shouldn't be wearing a mask, it's constricting your airway too much. So, and that was the paper mask that the hospitals make you wear. So if a doctor's telling me I shouldn't be wearing a mask, you know, and for the most part, like I said, I wore a mask because I didn't want people to like cause issues with me. if that makes sense. Like, I don't care what people think per se, but I also didn't want to go out in public and people like, you should wear a mask and blah, blah, blah. So I just, um, oh, yeah, see, my brother likely isn't that weird. I mean, he's okay if I say let's just agree to disagree and we leave it at that. Right. And well, like I told my doctor anyway, I said, at the beginning of this whole thing, I didn't wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask until the county made it mandatory. My boss didn't care. She didn't wear a mask and she's Asian. So um but yeah, I I believe that it limits your natural immunities when you stop breathing in germs. And this is coming from someone who gets sick if someone coughs in their direction. So, um, yeah, Crystal can attest to that. I used to always get sick. I still do for the most part. I don't leave the house very often, and I think that doesn't help either. Okay. um, so go ahead and start discussing your last theory, Crystal.
My last one is, oops, hang on. The Denver International Airport is a hub for the Illuminati. Let's see. So, the Denver International Airport is thought to be the secret headquarters of the reptilians by some people. This is a very quirky place known for its offbeat art. There are gargoyles that overlook the baggage claims. Murals depict scenes of war and horror. There's a 32-foot blue horse with red eyes presiding over the road leading in and out of the terminal. And all of this weirdness combined with the municipal drama surrounding the airport construction. The airport, the whole project basically was like $3 billion over budget. Sparked an array of conspiracy theories. The most common, according to the Denver Public Library, is that the airport is secretly the headquarters of the New World Order, the Illuminati, the Reptilians, and some other shadowy groups with plans to take over the world. To bolster these beliefs, there's been alternative explanations of the airport's odd decor. For example, an inlay in the floor with the symbols for gold, which is AU, silver is AG, referencing Colorado's mining history, became a secret message about the made-up pathogen known as Australian antigen. A mural decrying war and wishing for world peace becomes a warning about a oh my god.
Totalitarian?
Yeah, future. Can't say it today. All of this is built, according to the theorists, on top of a 6-story deep bunker where the elites will hunker down to ride out the end of the world. Or maybe it's a prison for dissenters. And of course, there's no evidence of anything beneath the airport besides maintenance tunnels, baggage transport system, and harried travelers moving between terminals on an underground train. But that doesn't stop those who want to believe in something more nefarious beneath this airline hub. Let's see. Conspiracy theories may be popular, but they are far from harmless. conspiracy theories historically have been linked with prejudice, genocide. Oh, this is something different than it's talking about. And it's more than I should not have copied on here because it's talking about the QAnon and COVID-19 conspiracy. So that's going further deep. But yeah, like this talks about, yeah.
Did you get to this part of your conspiracy theory?
It talks about, let's see, there's Nazism. It says Tenguma's murals have been purported to represent Nazism, death, or prophecy of the end of the world, counter to the artist's meaning. The removal of the murals to keep them safe during construction prompted rumors that the project was an excuse to cover the truth. In addition, there are conspiracy theories around Nazism based on supposed swastika-shaped runway, which area views refute. Let me lower my things since you're talking. I don't know if I have that in there. The pilot.
What?
There's alien languages, I guess, and there's like a flat Earth thing in there too.
I haven't seen a picture of that one yet. Here's the swastika again.
Oh yeah, that's the Nazism with the tunnels. Yeah, because there's tunnels here. It says the delay in opening the airport and the large budget overrun led to a variety of rumors about the tunnels that were built under the airport. Well, it doesn't mention that, but yeah, in the alien languages. Yeah, there's like gargoyles all over the place, like gargoyles and demons and.
Which is weird because gargoyles are supposed to be a sign of protection.
Mm-hmm. So they view it as like bad luck and the place being.
I wonder if they have more than the gargoyles covering their ears, though. I wonder if they have all of them, like the one that covers their eyes, the one that covers their mouth.
I am, but I don't post anything.
Do what?
She asked if we're on Instagram.
I do have Instagram. It's treading my way. I try to remember to post stuff on there, but I'm gonna be honest. Since my mom passed away, I haven't been the best on social media. So Facebook is usually the best place to find me.
I'm the same there as I am on here. But like I said, I don't really post anything. I follow people though.
I think this is the one you're talking about with the destruction and crap. The mural.
Yeah. It's like crazy and insane. It's like all the murals there are like depicting death and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people are like, what?
You've never heard? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going back. You never heard the conspiracy about the Denver airport? Supposedly, I don't know. I know you mentioned the Illuminati, but supposedly they have a headquarters in the basement of the Denver airport. So a lot of times you'll see like prominent figures, like presidents and CEOs of companies and stuff, will fly into the Denver airport, have like a very long layover because they're all down in the basement meeting with each other, and then they go off to their prospective connecting flights. So that's a theory as well, because it's like Crystal said, it's believed that the Illuminati actually has power over this airport. And I guess the Illuminati in itself is a conspiracy theory that I personally believe they exist. So, but that's just my personal opinion. So here's the horse again.
That horse is creepy looking.
It is, and that's what people think it's. Why people think it's a satanic thing is because his eyes glow red at nighttime. Well, during the day too, but they actually like glow at nighttime. Like they light up red. And that's the thing is, if it wasn't red, like if his eyes were a different color than red, I don't think people would think it's as demonic.
Yeah, like that's the problem with the horse. Like the eyes need to be a different color. Like maybe if they were like white or something, they wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
It's like someone is trolling that airport so freaking hard. What? No one asked you. No, they did not.
Here's another picture of the whole swastika thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like someone like decided to make an airport and then they're like, hang on, we're gonna troll everybody. And they're just gonna deal with it. Cause we've got the money to do it and we're just gonna do it. Like they're just gonna deal with it.
I wonder if the purpose of the
What?
teepee looking things was
What?
purposed. Like, or was it? Because I know Colorado is like a big Indian place as well. So I wonder if that was like a tribute to the tribes, or if that was like a FU to the tribes, or
I don't know. Like you gotta wonder, like with everything up with that airport, you gotta wonder, like, did they feel honored by that or not?
right? Because that's another theory is that they stole the land from the Indians out there back when this was originally bought to be built. That they didn't actually buy the land for the fair price; they stole it. They basically said, "This is what you're going to get for it," and so on and so forth. So I
That
always
would be
wonder.
like that would suck, like they get the land from them, they put teepee looking things up there along with gargoyles and
Right.
like and a horse that looks like it's got blood red eyes and I've never been to that airport, so I wouldn't know. Like I've never seen that airport. No, not right now. Mm-mm.
Sorry, I'm messaging my dad real quick. All right. So that's basically all the theories and stuff we've picked out for today. Um, I don't know about everyone else, but like conspiracy theories are one of my favorite topics to talk about. So, if you guys, we all did steal Indian land. You are correct there. You are very correct.
Yeah, I could
All
get
of this
pretty
is
passionate about these if I really want to. Some days.
yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theories I will never talk about publicly, and that's just because a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I mean like a majority of people don't agree with my theory, even though some do. There's a handful of people, or like more than half the world, that doesn't agree with me, and so just so I don't have a lot of political war going on in my page, I choose not to talk about some things. But if you guys want us to do more conspiracy theories some other time, I definitely would love to do that. So you just have to let us know. Um, but yeah, I I definitely agree with you. All the land here was stolen. Even the
Mm-hmm.
and fun fact, I don't know if you guys all know this, but Christopher Columbus actually did not discover America.
No, we did not.
The Spaniards, I don't necessarily remember. Oh, I wish I could remember. I don't remember if they came from Spain or from like South America, but the Spaniards actually discovered America first. They discovered Florida, um, which is now America, so part of America. Um, but yeah, and and they stole the land. They're not going to tell you that, but most of it was stolen from Indians, if not all of it. Um, but again, Florida actually does a lot of dedication to the Indians. So Spaniards, yeah. Um, if you ever get a chance, if you've never been, go to, why can't I think of it, Crystal?
What?
Where did we? Oh, St. Augustine. And do the trolley tour, and hopefully you will get a very good tour guide, because ours, when we went, well, not when Crystal and I went, because we didn't do a trolley. We just went to the lighthouse. But um, when we went with my dad, mother-in-law, me, my husband, dad, and mother-in-law, we went for Justin's birthday one year, and we had the best tour guide. We learned, like, we had originally planned on getting off at certain places, but he was doing so good doing like all the historical stuff. We stayed on for the whole tour and then did it again, because the trolley you ride all day. So we did it again, and just the second time around we got off at all our stops that we wanted to see. But he was so informative about everything. He told about how they came, they built the fort to, keep others from coming and claiming the land and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, definitely recommend everyone visit St. Augustine if you ever get a chance. The other one to visit is Key West. We had a pretty good tour guide there as well that was very informative, and that Key West was a critical part of World War II, I believe. It could have been one. I don't remember. One of the world wars. It was like a critical point, like where crap got sent out from and crap got sent into. So, yeah. If you're ever coming to Florida, those are definitely two places I recommend visiting for just the historical purposes behind it. A lot of people want to come to Florida to go to like the beaches and the theme parks, and they don't care about the history. So if you are a history person like me, which is weird because I failed history class in school, so but I absolutely love going to places and hearing about all the history. I would rather go someplace and go to a museum than go someplace and go to like a bar or a shopping center or something like that. I don't know. That's just how I am. Luckily, I married someone who is the same way. He would rather go somewhere educational than somewhere where you're just going to go party and there's really nothing else to do there. So, oh, anyway, so like I said at the beginning of the stream, next week I have a prior commitment on Friday. So I gave 3 choices at the beginning. We could either do the Let's Get Real on Wednesday if we want to do it live, or Crystal and I can do a pre-recorded Let's Get Real topic to post on Friday. So it won't be live, it'll just be a normal video. Or I can, what was I going to say? Or we can just skip next week and not have any video on Friday. So you are definitely right. My teachers, well, for one, the second high school I went to, I was passing history before we moved to Indiana. I'll just say that. When we moved there, the teachers did fail me, because in Indiana, and Crystal will probably agree with me because she's the only friend I have to vouch for me that lived there, they cared more about the jocks than they cared about normal students. So if you weren't a jock or part of another extracurricular activity that brought money into the school, they didn't care about you. Teachers could care less who you were. You could have fell off the face of the earth, which I did. I fell off the face of the earth, and They didn't
But the
care.
earth is not flat.
Anyway, my point is, when I was in high school, when I was going to Noblesville, I'm gonna just call them out. When I was going to Noblesville High School, I missed probably about 4 months of school. Didn't go. I would drive my car away from my house every morning, and I would go to who I was dating at the time. He was older. He was like 20 years old. So I would go to his house and we'd hang out there all day until it was time for me to go home. And the school didn't never call my parents for 4 months until the I-steps came along. Or is that what they were called? I-steps?
Yeah, I stuff.
Yeah. All right. So that came along. And if you guys don't know what the I-steps is, it's a standardized test that all the schools in the state had to take. And that basically determined what schools were the best schools in the state. And that's how they also determined which schools would get the most money from the state of Indiana for like new buildings and upgrades and stuff like that.
That's how they
So,
update computers and stuff.
so I missed that test, and they called my parents and said, was there a reason your daughter wasn't in school today for the I-step test? And my dad or my mom was like, I'm pretty sure she was at school. And they're like, nope, she was absent today. And that's it. And so I got confronted when I got home, and I said, no, I haven't been going to school for 4 months, Mom. And they just now called you. You wonder why I don't want to go to that school. And so I know this has nothing to do with conspiracy theories and whatnot, but my parents my dad decided that I was just going to withdraw from school, and I could either choose to go to a different school or to get my GED or whatever I wanted to decide to do. But if I wasn't going to go to school or get a GED, I was to work 2 jobs. And so I got a job. I worked at Cracker Barrel, and I didn't put Cracker Barrel on my job list. 32. I already deleted it, but I can't remember where else I worked at the time. Cracker Barrel, Walmart. I worked at Cracker Barrel and Walmart, and I ended up quitting Cracker Barrel and going back to school because I couldn't handle working 2 jobs, because I was working at Walmart at night, Cracker Barrel in the morning, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it, and I give it up to everyone who has to work 2 jobs, because I don't know how you guys do it. I know people that work 3 jobs, and I don't
That's
know how
probably
you
why
guys
he
do
told you 2 and not 1.
it. Probably. So I
He
ended up,
probably knew that you'd quit and go back to school.
well, I could have went to the GED program, which I did consider, but you only get so many tries to take the test in the state of Indiana. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but and back then, it might have changed, but back then you only got like 3 tries to pass the test, and
I
then
don't
you
know
were.
if they take that test anymore. I think they do different kinds of testing now.
It's still called a GED though.
Not in the GED. I think they mean like the I-step test. I don't think they do that anymore.
They still do a version of it. I don't think it's called the I-step, but it's still the same thing. It's still the same test. It's still a standardized test that everyone has to take, so that schools can say, I'm the best school in Indiana and my school gets this much money every year. And Florida does the same thing, which I think they just need to stop, because I told you guys I was a substitute before, and I shared this on my Facebook a long time ago, but I worked at a school that when I went there, the lesson plan told me that the students were to do page 45 or something like that in their book. And a lot of the students said, hey, my book doesn't have that page. And I'm like, what? And I looked at all their books. All their books were torn up. And I said, did you guys do this to the books? And they're like, no. This is how they were given to us at the beginning of the year. These people are given books that have been destroyed, not given new books, everything. So then I go and work on another school, same district, different school. So I have to stress that Florida counties have multiple schools but they're in the same district. So if that makes any sense. Like, not same district. Same school zone, but like I guess I don't know how to explain it. Different bus routes. I don't know. But anyway, different zone, I guess. Um so I went to teach at another school. These kids, they got brand new hardback books and then workbooks that they could write in and everything. They could even write in their hard book because guess what? They got to keep the book. This school got brand new books for every subject, every year, multiple times a year. Brand new books, and the students got to keep them. They didn't have to return them. And that right there just rubbed me the wrong way because this school that I first worked at, and I worked at there multiple times, and every time I worked there, I said, I don't know why I keep coming back here. These kids are the rudest kids you ever meet, and they were. But if you looked at how they were treated by the teachers and stuff, you would see why they were rude. Teachers they didn't teach them. Like, they literally just didn't bother with them. And then, I later learned that school was up to be turned into a juvenile hall, a juvenile school, a school for delinquents. And so now you have all these kids that are going to this school being told, hey, our school's so bad on the list of, on the list of where we fall in the district because they weren't getting money for new stuff. So their school was so far down that, they were going to be turned into a juvenile school, not a juvenile, like, not for like the criminals per se, but for the more rowdy kids. We'll just say it that way. So not ones that have necessarily been in jail for or juvenile detention or anything for anything, but like the ones that were failing and stuff like that. So when I heard that, that really made me mad because you have a school that you're not even given a fair chance. You're giving them crappy material. You're giving them teachers who don't care. This one girl at this school told me because I said something. I told them, I forget what we were doing, but they weren't paying attention to me at all when I was trying to help them. And I said, you know what, guys? I feel sorry for you. And this girl looked at me and she said, why? I said, because I'm sitting here trying to help you and you don't care. You would rather sit here and make TikToks on your phone that you're not supposed to have, by the way, than to listen to what I'm trying to help you do so that you can pass this class. And she said, well, why are you feeling sorry for me? And I said, I feel sorry for all of y'all because all of y'all think you're going to grow up, you're going to be rich and famous off of TikTok or YouTube or whatever is popular when you're grown up. You think you're going to get rich off of this. And you have to realize that not everyone that goes out and does this becomes millionaires. It's very few on YouTube. And I know it doesn't seem like it, but there's very few that are actually making millions. Can you pay your bills off of YouTube? Absolutely. If you do your cards right, you can absolutely pay your bills. But to actually become a millionaire or a billionaire, it's very few and far between. And I told them, I said, I feel sorry for you guys because that's what you believe can be possible. Is it possible? Yes. But will all of y'all make it? No. I said, honestly, some of you guys probably won't make it very far. The way I've heard some of y'all talk, some of y'all are probably going to end up in jail. Some of y'all will probably be dead. Some of y'all will probably work fast food the rest of your life, but because you don't want to achieve your best potential, you don't want to use your brains for better. You would rather just fail. You'd rather do what society, what the school wants you to do. This school wants you to fail, and you're that ain't it. I'm sitting here trying to help you. I'm sitting here trying to give you the answers. I'm trying to teach you. You won't let me. And her response was, you're the only one. No one else in the school cares. And that made me sad. That really made me sad to hear her say that. No one else in the school cared. And I was a substitute. So that really broke my heart hearing someone say, no one else in the school cares. You're the only one. So, anyway, not that any of that's about conspiracies or whatnot, but that's just to say that not all schools are created equal, and we should give all of the children equal opportunities in this world, and we don't. We absolutely do not. Anyway, now that I probably made everyone cry. Whew, it is hot. I need to figure out a fan situation in here that's not gonna be too distracting. Also need to get a ring light that's not gonna die after an hour. Oh, anyone else have anything else they want to talk about before we end it?
I mean,
This, I don't know if I ever told you guys this. This is considered a Florida room. Yeah, it has an air vent as you see right there. But like this room is so big and that's the only air vent. It doesn't do the job. It's so hot in this room. Especially with like all I have the fridge and freezer over there and then all the computer equipment. So just doesn't help. And I guess if I close this window it might help some, but have fun next week. So, yeah, so far, one person wants us to do it on Wednesday and just me upload a normal video Friday. So, and what I have to do is not going to be fun. I'll just say that. It's not going to be a fun time at all. So, I would much rather be at home doing this video on Friday than going to where I have to go. So,
I'm trying to think about what I want to do, like, because I want to get my channel started again, and I'm thinking about doing the driving videos, but because I want to do like downtown and stuff like that, and I also want to go like through the country and stuff like that, and just making like one big long thing, like driving like in the open areas and stuff like that, not really stopping anywhere.
You could kind of take people along to some of the freer touristy things they could do too. Because a lot of people tend to overlook those when they go to Tulsa. They just go there to do the bigger things and not look at all the smaller free things they can do.
Because I don't know, like, because I was gonna just like do like the open road, like driving and stuff like that, and just like drive over like the Arkansas and stuff like that, because there's a couple bridges where you can go over, and so do like some like just to like drive over the areas and stuff like that, go through like Jinx and stuff like that, where you can go like to like 71st Street Bridge down to like the 91st Street Bridge, and then but that's like the populated area, and then you go into like where like Osage County and stuff like that, over to where like the casino and stuff is, because where you go, like not the one casino in 81st, but because that's the one that we went to, if you go to like the other casino, then you're going into like where there's open there's nothing there. It's like hills and mountains and stuff like that, and so it's like,
so you're talking about making it so your camera is facing like this out
yes,
the window. Okay.
that's what it would be. Ride with me blog, but there's
are you planning on like talking during these, or just
it would just be like music? Like I would be like in the car or whatever with my own music or whatever, but then it would be like copyright-free music or whatever for YouTube, because I don't listen to what would be copyright-free.
I use Epidemic Sound, so but that's you pay for that every month.
But like that's what I'm thinking about doing until I can think of like something else to get my channel like up and running or whatever. Because I think like people, I don't know, because I think those like ride with me videos, I think people like stuff like that. Probably in like the boring places, yeah. Like if there's anything boring, I'd speed it up.
I don't know. I guess I can't say much of anything because I watch people mowing their lawn videos, so I find it relaxing. That and cleaning videos and lawn maintenance videos for some reason I find very relaxing.
But I just think like, because, you know, it's like I drive and get my groceries or whatever like that. I could just do like driving videos and stuff. And just do like drive with me or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you could always see if it works. Indie ASMR. What's indie? I know what ASMR is, but what's indie? Oh, I used to love watching Restock the Fridge videos, and then I got mad that I can never get my fridge to look like theirs, so I stopped watching them. Also, you know what irritates me? When the influencers sit there and
Oh, I hate that stuff. We tap on everything.
yeah, like, okay, thanks. You don't need to do that.
It's like I don't
Or would
mind.
they like purposefully put like their makeup thing here so you can hear it go plop?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, I don't care, people.
It's like I understand the point of like ASMR and like tapping is a thing, but they sit there and tap forever, and I hate that.
ASMR makes sense. Doing it during ASMR makes sense, but these people just do it during their normal videos, and it just irks me. Oh yeah, no, I was like, yeah, I'm not pouring the milk into a different pitcher, especially when I would have to use 2 pitchers to put a whole gallon of milk in. Yeah, so you're not gonna like a video of mine coming up. I don't know when it's gonna come up, but it is a mukbang, so.
You finally decided to join the mukbang crew.
Well,
Talked about that a long time ago. You're like, I want to do a mukbang. So I'm like, okay. Like, so why don't you? Never did.
I'm not trying to join them permanently. It was a challenge video, so, and it's gonna come up when everyone else is ready. So.
I know. I'm just saying you were talking about doing mukbangs like a while ago.
Oh, yeah. And you said you don't even like listening to people eat, so why would you do that? Because I don't. There's only like one person that I've ever really watched their mukbangs, and that was Steph Pappas. And I don't know, she just doesn't sit there and go into her microphone. You don't really hear her chew, so. Yeah, ask Crystal. I get irritated listening to people eat. That's why I like to go to loud restaurants because you don't hear the people. You can ask my husband. He'll sit there and start eating before I get a show turned on, and I'm like frantically finding something because I cannot stand to hear people eat.
She'll stare at you if you start eating before she's ready for you to. She'll stare at you and glare.
It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I can't stand it.
You will get the glare of death. Like, why are you eating?
Yeah, it's
You
like
don't have my permission.
I'm like, do you see music on or TV on? No. Do not eat.
Have I granted thee thy permission? No.
Yeah, when I used to have a job and there was this guy that used to go on lunch break at the same time as me and he ate chips every day. And I finally just started wearing headphones because he tried to talk to me too. So I finally started wearing headphones and then one day I forgot my headphones and I'm like, "Oh my god. Why?"
You're gonna drive yourself nuts. I love it.
I don't think I've seen her. I've only seen the one Asian girl that like eats everything in one bite.
Oh God.
Ew. I think I've seen her. I think someone did like a reaction to her or something, and it was just like, oh my god.
It's hot, people.
I think they're supposed to. I think there's a heat advisory for today. Oh yeah, feels like 103. Yay.
Well, surprisingly, here it's only 83. Feels like 90, but in this house it feels like 100. So humidity is 80%. Are you kidding me? That's why it feels so miserable.
Yeah, my humidity is only 47%.
That's why I tell people it doesn't matter how hot it is. It's the humidity. If the humidity is high, it's miserable. Because I could live out in Arizona just fine, and it gets hotter than Hades out there. But it's a dry heat, so well, southern Florida or southern Arizona, I should say, because northern Arizona, unfortunately, has humidity.
You're like 10 degrees lower than me, and I'm sitting here just fine, and you're like, oh my god.
Well,
Oh my
remember
god.
I said what's going on in this room too. One vent, fridge, freezer, bunch of computer crap. So
You've got a ceiling fan. I'm sitting in here with one vent.
look, I can't even feel that ceiling fan. It's like worthless. We need like a ceiling fan on all three lights.
And I'm on an excessive heat warning, and I'm just sitting here like, it's fine.
I should ask my landlord if he'd be mad if I put ceiling fans in all three sections in here. Hey, would you be mad if I put ceiling fans in all of the light spots? Just not tell him and put them in anyway.
Don't do a change over there, girl.
No, no.
You'd think you'd be the like you're the one over here, like over there in 103, and I'm in the nice cool 80 degrees.
Well, my house is hot in here too. The only room that stays cold is the living room, and that's the darkest room in the house.
No, I am in the coolest room, I guess.
I miss Tennessee. Yeah, you guys are having a Florida winter moment. You think I'm kidding. When we got like 30 degrees last year, was it last year?
It did get cold last year, so yeah.
Like, excuse me? We live in Florida. What is this crap? We were at the Billy Joel concert that day, and we were all like sitting there like, because it was like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, I was mad when I saw that. You didn't even tell me that there was a Billy
Uh,
Joel concert.
look,
I'm like,
she said,
you know
you,
I like Billy Joel. You don't even tell me you're going to
hey,
Billy Joel.
I did
Like,
tell you.
excuse me.
I told you I went to Billy Joel. I sent you
After,
footage. Yeah,
after,
I sent you footage. I sent you some.
after.
Well, I didn't know until the day before. My dad's like, I got tickets. We're going. So anyway, Michelle says ghosts are real. She's correct. They are real. It's a very good conspiracy. That shit
That's
is it
not
a
a
conspiracy
conspiracy.
theory?
Huh?
Well, some people would believe it's a conspiracy theory because there's a lot of people that say ghosts are not real, that it's a figment of our imagination.
No, ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real.
You've never been to a concert?
How?
My very first concert was Big Tent Revival. If you don't know who that is, it's a Christian group. Which a lot of people think is weird because of what I ended up, you know, because of the way my spirituality has led me. I used to be, well, my family is technically Methodist, but when we moved to Georgia, my brother went to a Baptist church, and so I started going to Baptist church with him, and I became a Baptist. But I only joined the church because I wanted to sing. I wanted to be in as many choirs as possible because I was in my school choir, I was also an all-state choir, and then I was in the church choir. So all the choirs for me.
I think
Yeah.
my first concert was like 3 doors down. Might have been. Is it either them or it was Garth Brooks?
Yeah, so I went to Big Tent Revival, and then my first actual, what I call my actual concert, is the Goo Goo Dolls. And then I've been to Mayday, which was Bloodhound Gang. I forget the other band, and then Godsmack. And then we went to Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've been to a million Hanson concerts. Let's see. Sherwood.
I went to Garth Brooks before he was like Garth Brooks, because I remember it was like a small like country fair kind of concert.
Oh, I've been to an actual Garth Brooks concert.
No, I know, but I'm saying I think I went to like Garth Brooks before he was like arena style Garth Brooks. I think I went when he was like playing country fairs and stuff.
My favorite concert was Kelly Clarkson, because if you guys don't know, she's my favorite. So I'm not like a diehard fan like some people are. I don't know her every. I don't know her every in and out. I don't know.
Tell me she's going to Kelly Clarkson until after the fact.
Again, those were a Christmas present from my husband. Jesus Christ. On a cracker. I don't even think you lived with us then either. I think you'd already moved. Didn't you?
This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. What good would it do if I said, hey, guess what? I'm going to so-and-so's concert. What are you going to do? Drive from Oklahoma to Florida to go?
How much notice would you have given me?
Okay, let's use Kelly Clarkson, for example. Because, my husband didn't want, that's how I know you didn't live there, because he didn't want to go. But I didn't have anyone else to go with. So let's say I found out about Kelly Clarkson in December because I got her tickets for Christmas. Again, this is years ago. And her concert was in March, I believe. So you would have had about 3 months notice. Would you have made it all the way? Well, of course, I saw her in Indiana, but that's not the point. Would you have found a way to get all the way down to Florida to go to Kelly Clarkson? Or would you have said, she's not worth it. I don't really like her that much. And it would have been a waste of my time.
Okay, well, would you have wanted me to repay the ticket fee or just get to Indiana?
What do you mean? Like pay for how much the ticket cost?
Yeah.
Like the concert ticket?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. If I was inviting you to the concert, I would have just told you if you could get there. If you could get to Indiana, or if we're saying Florida for this, because we're saying it's a now thing. If you could get to Florida, I'm not going to make you pay for the ticket.
Okay, so what all am I paying for? Just a way to Florida or hotel or what?
Well, if you aren't afraid of the dog, you wouldn't need a hotel. Most people are afraid of the dog, so
I don't care about dogs. I mean, if you think he wouldn't kill me in my sleep.
you would have to let him bark at you aggressively for about an hour because that's what he's going to do. That's what he does to everyone. But eventually he stops and starts treating you like you're his.
I got along fine with Brittany's dog when I was with her.
Brittany's dog's probably better trained than mine. Like, Stitch. Come here, Stitch. Come here. Come here. See if I can get this beast to come here. Come here. Come here. Let me push this back. Come on. Get up here.
He's a big dog.
Come here.
He's a big. I've never met him, but he's a big dog.
Come here. Why aren't you listening to me? All right. That's
I would ask you, like, how long, like, how much time does Justin need to know, like, to put in for his work? And then, like, let me figure out, like, if I can get, like, a ticket or whatever. And if I can't, then he can go. But if I can get there, then I'll get there. Because I don't really have to worry about Pesh. If I'll be gone like over a weekend, that's it.
Go on. All right, go lay down. I know I called you over here. I know. I'm so rude. You were sleeping and I called you over.
She's so mean.
So mean. I'm such a mean mama. Tell him. Say she's so mean to me.
And see, I've never been attacked by a dog before. So it's like, I used to be like really, really afraid of dogs when I was little. But then my mom like insisted on getting a dog. And we ended up getting like a poodle. And I was terrified of it. And then I just got used to it. And I really haven't been afraid of dogs ever since. But my brother had he had a dog. I swear to God, it was a devil in that dog. But it hated everybody but him. And so I was terrified of that dog. But it ended up like biting this kid. But the kid like waved a bat in its face. So dude pretty much deserved it.
I've only been attacked by little dogs, and that's working at the vet clinic, little small brats. Chihuahuas were the worst. Chihuahuas are the absolute worst. Let me move my microphone back. Sorry.
I've heard Dachshunds are bad too.
They can be, but out of the two, Chihuahuas are the worst.
Yeah, like the littler the worse they are. Like the smaller the dog, the worse.
They don't call them ankle biters for no reason. No reason. Whew. All right, so we're talking about ghosts, and then we went into concerts. Yeah, my dog is 120 pounds, which I looked up. Apparently, I just learned this. The proper name for my dog is a mastador because he's an English Mastiff Black Lab mix. And apparently the proper name for him is a mastador. So anyway, so I looked it up. His ideal weight is anywhere between 100 to 200 pounds. So
well, he's a slim mastador then.
Oh, well, go ahead and tell your story. I want to, if it coincides with the ghost story, I'd love to, because then it's bringing us back to the conspiracy theory. And that's what this episode's all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not feeling very well today. So I know it doesn't probably seem like it, but deep down I'm dying. and being hot isn't helping, which probably means I have a fever, to be honest with you.
You're red. You're red.
Mm. Was I red before my light went out?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can get this stupid thing to work. Let me try plugging it over here.
Yeah, did you ever figure out your little thingy?
What thingy?
Your thingy that went dead last week.
Oh, no, I didn't even look at. Oh, that, I didn't even look at it. I need
It's
to
like
unplug the
things
mouse.
that go dead with Melissa. Tune in next week for your episode of Things That Go Dead with Melissa.
Nope, it won't work in. It won't work plugged in there either.
So, what piece of equipment will go dead next week?
Right? Maybe my house is haunted, and it's slowly killing everything. Like I woke up early this morning so I could edit Monday's video, so I wasn't doing it last minute. And that crap, all the stuff X was still exporting into the program when I came to sit down to start this. So I didn't get it done. Oh, darn it. And I mean, I could email you a thing and invite you if you wanted to come on to the show and tell your story, but
Can you have a second person?
yeah, we can have up to 3 people. Yeah, that's dead. All right. So what does my nephew want now? All right. So he wants an electric scooter with solid tires that goes 19 miles per hour as the top speed. All right. So she says her mom passed in January and their camping trip was in October. So she was still in pretty heavy morning, foggy brain and such. And also, while we have camped for 12 years with this family and this dog. Okay.
You should be able to post the link in the chat for her to click onto.
Let me see. I don't know if she wants to come on the show. I guess she could come on without her camera on if she wanted to. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, if you're emailing her, that's probably best. Because if you put it in the chat, then make sure it's her that clicks it. Like have her like hold fingers up and stuff.
And then I'll put it in the public chat. I don't want to put it in the public chat, and I don't think there's a way to private. Yeah, there's no way to private people. All right, so a week before this, I had been consoled by something, by hand, been laid on my knee as in trying to console me. And every night prior to this, and had woke up at 3:33 a.m. Ooh.
Getting creepy.
Yeah. Half past the witching hour.
I've like had things like touching me at night though too. You know, like I felt like I've had hands and things.
So our first interaction, me and the dog, was casually collecting sticks. So Inset put on a path, not knowing that the dog was already on the trail. Okay. Also, I'm reading this to you guys because I've learned that the live chat doesn't show up in the comment section once the video is like posted, no longer live. You can turn on to where you can see the live chat while you're watching, but it's not in the comments section.
It should be a live chat.
Holy cow, 278 Jonathan, I swear to God. He thinks we're all rich. And he shook his head, looked at the ground, and looked back at me. His eyes gave away. He was about to pounce on me.
The comment section probably flows with the timing as it comes up in the video. So
only if you turn it on, though.
no, what I'm saying is like the live chat most likely flows like when it comes up in the video.
Right, but only if you turn that feature on. You can watch the video without anyone's chat coming up. But if you turn it on, you can see it as they're saying it in the video.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to turn that feature on.
I always see it in mine. Like anytime I turn on a YouTube video, if they've got a chat, then I see a chat. Well, the dog most likely saw whatever was there, be it a ghost or not.
And then, and when he did, I felt as if I was hugging myself and being turned away from him. And he clamped down on my ponytail and made the tearing motion while he had my hair. Ooh. I almost wonder if he saw something attach itself to you, and he was trying to get it off of you.
But like there really wasn't anything there, and so he got you and not what was there. Because like animals will see things.
Yeah, they can see ghosts and other beings. Again, I know that's the conspiracy theory, kind of a theory. Not everyone believes, so. Later on that night, he sauntered over in an attempt to apologize, lowering his head, raising his paw to shake. Oh.
Yeah, because I don't think he meant to hurt you.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He didn't mean to hurt you, and he realized,
like attacking what was on you, and then he realized, it's like because they can sense when they've hurt people and
when they've done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Then later at dark, while I was walking over to the fire, he ran and off left off my knee to grab something above me, which the sound he made was
Guttural.
guttural and terrifying. Oh. So, I mean, I know you're probably about to say, was it like an actual object? Did someone find what he was going after, or was it just again something he might have seen that was going to attach itself to you?
Yeah, because that's what it sounds like. Like he kept seeing something like coming after you, and he didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh, I love how we go live at 1 o'clock, but I don't get an email until almost an hour later. Because my email says like 2 o'clock, you're live.
I don't know if I've gotten that message yet.
Well, probably not unless you get notifications for my channel.
I do. I
Oh,
got the
okay.
notification that we went live like right after we'd logged off last time, and I was like, "Oh, really? That's nice."
You're probably like, did she go live again?
Hmm.
I believe my ma had not left me yet, as I was in so much hurt and pain, but he was seeing something walking with me in a form he didn't understand. That
Probably.
that's very possible, actually. Just from the way you're telling his actions, it makes me think he's seeing something unworldly, like something not of this plane anymore. I tell you now, mischief will sometimes just stare up and stare at something for the longest time, and I'll start staring and looking too. Like last night, he started staring at the home sign above our window in the living room, and I was like, "What are you staring at?" So I started staring at it too, thinking maybe there's a bug or something up there. Nothing. He's just sitting there staring at it. And then all of a sudden, like, he shakes his head and looks away. All right. So that same time, we had a really close encounter with two owls that was really strange. Hmm. They flew towards me close and landed in a tree close to us and just stared. Uh, I'm starting to think maybe it's not your mom that was with you. Because isn't owls like a demonic sign?
Yeah, they didn't.
Let me see. There's like something about the owl.
Owls have been considered harbingers of bad luck, ill health, or death. Owls are considered an unlucky omen.
Yeah, an omen of imminent death. Did you lose like anyone, whether it was someone close to you or not? My grandbaby, the first time he visited my parents' house, he looked up while we were eating and just started jabbering away to someone we couldn't see. That might have been your mom. But the thing in the forest with the dog, the owls, is making me think there was something else. I mean, some do say that the owls um, are a sign of truth, understanding, patience, and wisdom. But All right, so here's one. The owl was an intelligent mid-tier demon warrior. This is talking about Lilith. So Lilith was, I guess, an owl. Like if she was to come down from or come up wherever, whatever we're talking, because some, let's just be real, some believe that heaven and hell are both above, just different aboves. So you don't actually go down to hell, you go up to hell. Anyway, that's a different thing. But um all right. So this one says that if an owl comes to visit and is staring at you, it's an indication that someone in your personal life respects you while also valuing the views you hold and the wisdom you possess. So that's it's owls have different meanings depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, you most likely have an entity um, in your life, whether it be your mom or another loved one. I also actually do believe we're in hell as well. um, uh, I think when we die, this is going to go into another big debate by people, but I believe when we die that we go to, I guess let's just call it heaven because that's what most people know it as. But I believe we go to hmm, like a holding cell of sorts, but like not like a jail, if that makes any sense. And that we're reborn. Like we all have lived multiple lives. That's what I believe. I believe we are all reincarnated. So that's actually a pretty cool ability. Maybe I should have you come down and help us house hunt because I want a haunted house. You think I'm kidding? I would totally live in a haunted house. I couldn't let my mother-in-law know it's haunted because she would never come visit, but I would totally live in a haunted house. Although I could tell her and it could be a way that they wouldn't want to live with us, so but anyway. Yeah, a lot of people believe that's why we're reincarnated because we didn't learn what we needed to learn in our previous life. So we're reborn until we learn what we're supposed to learn. We cannot enter like the gates of heaven or something along those lines is what some believe. Um, and so that's why a lot of people have hundreds of or previous lives because they haven't learned their lessons, and some people die and go straight to heaven. Um, but yeah, I definitely don't. I think very few and far people would actually go straight to heaven because I don't think anyone is perfect, and we don't all learn our lesson first time around. So, um, but yeah, I I think some of us are just honestly doomed to keep being resurrected because we're just not, how do I say it? Like, for example, like Charles Manson, for example. I think he'll be resurrected, reincarnated, and he's not going to learn his lesson. So he's going to be, I don't know. Here's a bad example because honestly, I don't think he's a serial killer. Like, I think people.
Not the one who killed people, it was his followers.
Right. That's everyone labels him as a serial killer, but he never actually killed anyone. People drank his Kool-Aid and they killed. So, anyway, but I still think he's going to come back and eventually have the same Messiah complex that he had on Earth. And it's possible that the reason he has these things that he thinks he's a Messiah is because maybe at one point he was an angel and he's a fallen angel, and so he has this higher power belief in him from being fallen. He still remembers when he was not a fallen, if that makes any sense to people, because him and a few other people have Messiah complexes. He believed he was an almighty. So, okay. I also believe heaven is pure love. Like, I was there when 3 people left this world and both of them reached towards heaven and seen family members. My granny said she seen her ma on the other side of the creek and she couldn't get to them yet. She said her ma said, be patient. You know, I had a similar experience when I was a child. My younger brother, like, knocked me out with a wiffle ball bat. If you don't, it's a plastic bat. If you guys don't know what a wiffle ball bat is, and
that's what that boy like tried to beat my brother's dog with.
But I remember like seeing brightness and light, and then someone said it's not your time. It kind of just pushed me, and I woke up with my older brother like shaking me, going, "Don't die! I'm gonna get in so much trouble." So, I definitely believe they tell you if, like, I believe someone is up there. This goes back to my whole people will not know where to place me spiritually because I'm like all over the place, because I do believe there's a higher power, and I believe there's people up there who will tell you it's not your time and push you back down to finish your time here on earth. Now, honestly, most days I wonder why it wasn't my time, because it just, I don't know. I haven't found my purpose yet, if that makes sense. I haven't found my purpose. And it's really throwing me off. So, oh yeah, I don't think that either. I think if they were bad, they're not ever going to see their family. I think that's part of the, like, the steps you're talking about or the floors you're talking about. So like before they're reincarnated, they would be like at this floor, like, dude, you were bad. You know, you aren't worthy yet. So you're not even worthy to be on the second floor. You're basement garbage. So uh but I need to figure out what we're going to do for dinner because I haven't laid anything out. I don't feel good. I could always go take a quick shower and tell Justin we're going to dinner. Yeah. So the problem is some of them, even if they were to get sent back in real time, like, oh, it's not your time, pushed them back, a lot of times they can't make amends because the people don't don't want it. Like, they did something so bad that it's not.
Some people don't deserve it.
Yeah, like my friend, it's not my story to tell her whole story, but she was SA'd by her dad. And she she told me she could never forgive him, that he's apologized to her. He's already been released from prison, by the way, and she moved the moment he was released. But she said he apologized, but she said she doesn't forgive him and she never will. So
When you think about it, I mean, you imagine like if Charles Manson ever found remorse, like would you like accept his apology?
mm.
You know, like if he wanted to apologize to the people, like the family of the people that were murdered, like
I see what she's saying. But see, I also believe we're not born with our past memories. So how will we know we're making amends? If that makes sense. Hmm, I guess that's where the whole, because we all have free will. So um like, because I don't, we're all not some of us are born with our memories and we just lose them as we grow up. Because my niece, we are pretty sure, is my mom's grandmother reincarnated, because when my niece was little, she went up to my grandpa and touched his cheek and said, I used to change your diapers when you were a baby. So, because he said something to her, something about, I don't remember what it was, but she just walked up to him, put her hand on his cheek, and said, I used to change your diapers when you were a baby. And we all just thought that was like, what? So we believe that she is his mom reincarnated, or even maybe his grandmother reincarnated. And sometimes, I mean, like, for example, if I was to be reincarnated, what I've never done something that I would call super bad. I've broke the law before. I'm not gonna lie there. I've done bad things, but I've never like killed anyone or anything of that nature. Hmm. Yeah,
I need to be guided to my purpose.
right. I'm still waiting to be guided to mine. And who knows, I might not know my purpose in this life, and maybe I've already ruined this life, and maybe I've already been punished for all the bad things I've done. Maybe that's why I can't have children. Maybe that's my punishment in this life. Yeah. Sin is sin. And like I said, no one's 100% pure anymore. It's very few and far between people that are ever going to die 100% pure. So it's even been rumored that Mother Teresa was a criminal. So isn't she still alive? Which one's still
No,
alive? Which one's still alive? But didn't she recently die? Like in the 2000s, right?
I think so.
But yeah, it was believed, rumor, again, rumors, that she was part of the whole trafficking children thing. So um, sometimes the people we're supposed to trust the most are the ones that are actually the worst. I mean, look at all these priests that are SAing children, that have been proven to be SAing children. and they're supposed to speak the word of God and be all godly. So I think, I don't know. Um, like I said, I do believe we most likely are living in hell. Like, I don't think we can go anywhere worse than where we already are. Um, I don't believe we're living in a simulation, because who would want to? Whoever's playing my character is doing a shitty ass job. Sorry.
No, but that's kind of been like proven in some ways though, because not proven, but there's like parts of it that you can see it happening though.
What we're living in a simulation?
Yeah, like there's just things that happen where like you can tell,
Maybe.
like certain buildings or whatever, like you can tell.
I guess, but I don't know. I just think my guardian angel is drunk. Mine too. Mine probably left me a long time ago and said, nope, I'm not dealing with her no more. I got her out of so much crap. I'm not doing it no more. And like I said, I feel like all my sins from my childhood, because I was a very bad teenager.
I
I feel like,
experience deja vu all the time.
oh yeah, deja vu for real, all the time. Um,
Which is another simulation thing.
I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm like, didn't I do this already? And then, but I don't know. The world is just, like I said, if we're living a simulation, is it a simulation? Well, some believe it is a, if we are in a simulation, it is a simulation that God created because he's trying to design the perfect utopia, basically. So, and if we go off of actual certain shows, like we'll use Supernatural for one example, towards the end, we find out there's multiple universe or multiple galaxies out there with different universes and different Earths and different us's. So, and then that's also brought up in
Open a wound.
Spider-Man and the multiverse, and Doctor Strange in the multiverse, and stuff like that. So there's definitely a possibility that there are many simulations out there, and that for whatever reason, Chuck hasn't figured it out yet. Sorry. Sorry. If you've never seen Supernatural, that won't make any sense to you guys, but yeah, exactly. This is definitely not the utopia that he would want. And I don't feel like he'll ever achieve a true utopia, because he gives us free will. As long as we have free will, there won't be a utopia. That's just my personal belief. So I believe we could all coexist together in peace, but I don't think it would be long lasting peace, because someone is going to be mad at someone else at some point, because no one is going to be 100% agreeable with someone else all the time. Again, because we have free will. So take away our free will, and he can make us do whatever he pleases at that point. He could make us all into Stepford wives and just be that.
Yep.
There's another show I was watching recently, and it gave me Truman Show vibes. And I don't remember what it was. Might have been a movie we were watching, not a show. I don't remember. Huh?
Do you remember more about it?
No, I don't remember. All right, let me text Justin. But yeah.
Was that Emily is Evil or something?
No, I've never seen that.
Netflix. I think that was the name of it. I could have the name of the girl wrong.
I don't remember. I'll have to look back on because we've been watching a bunch of crap. Like we're still not done with the whole Marvel thing. We're up to Wakanda Forever, and we haven't been watching the shows, just the movies. So, but I needed a break after Endgame. I think we watched one or two after Endgame, but like I'm still a little broken from that, so I had to take a break from Endgame. But anyway, yeah, we need to wrap it up because we're already going on 4 hours, and we only get so many hours a month, and we still have probably next week to do.
Yep.
So, again, I will be putting up a poll as well, see what people want. I already know what one person wants. So if we don't get more answers on the poll, we'll probably be posting live Wednesday, and then we'll just be posting my Wednesday vlog on Friday. So we'll see. But I want to go ahead and thank you guys all for watching. I know this is a longer one today, but let's be honest, we used the last part of the show to chit chat and discuss things with you guys, and that's what we're wanting this show to be about. We want discussions with everyone. So, but if you liked it, give us thumbs up, comment down below. You know, I used to say comment recipes and crap. You know what? I decided I'm probably not. I have some recipes ready to go, but after those, I don't think I'm going to do dedicated recipe videos anymore. But yeah. So comment anything down below. Suggestions for Let's Get Real topics. We're always looking for them. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. And we will see you guys next week. If it's not going to be next week, I will post something on the community tab though. So I burned sage this weekend. So anybody else do that? I burn sage occasionally. Like when we first moved into this house, I burned some sage, even though it didn't feel weird. It's just the previous owners were kind of.
I burned it before opening my spirit board when I was trying to talk to my mom on her birthday.
But the previous people that lived in this house were like big potheads, so I just wanted to get out any like ill intentions.
Stick of it.
What?
I still have a huge stick of it.
Yeah, it lasts a long time. So. But yeah, I'll burn sage if I feel it's necessary. But aside from noises every now and then, I don't really feel it. Holy cow, that scared me. I don't know if y'all heard that. Ambulance came out of nowhere. I don't even live near an ambulance or fire station. But what did I say? Aside from noises every now and then, I don't feel anything really in this house. Except for the fact that my cat and dog just stare at crap every now and then, so.
I would too. I would
Yeah.
rage the crap out of myself after going around her.
Yeah. My whole thing with Bones is just leave them be.
Yeah.
Even when I was practicing my old spiritual path, I would not touch bones of any nature because I feel like just like humans, animals need to be put to rest and left alone. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want their bones taken from them. It's it's bad juju is what it is. So,
Yeah, I don't blame you for saging.
oh, she listen. I'd be like, "Look, girl, you're going to have to build a shed or something out back to do all your bone stuff in
Be
and
like in
leave
the
the bones."
proposal where the lady's out. Remember, Betty White in the proposal where she's out in the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
woods, do
Doing her
the
little
window, do the
dance
wall.
thing. Up on my bow. Well, she didn't do that. Well, she did. She started copying Sandra Bullock, but she was doing that was funny.
But she was doing that spiritual thing or whatever out in
Yeah.
the woods.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd be doing stuff like that. Like if that was going on at my house, I'd be like, no, 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 no. You can go outside and you can go play out there.
Yeah. What you doing, my love?
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, you see that little cutie McCuterson?
I see the nothing face.
Well, he looked away because he's like, nah, I don't want to be on camera. F y'all. Anyway. Oh, I really need to get a new computer chair, but it's probably going to have to wait because we just got a new mattress instead. We went with the purple mattress. I'll let you guys know how it is. Or if I'm sending it back within the 100 days.
I've heard about the purple mattress. I don't
We did
know what I heard about the purple mattress.
we did a lot of research on it, and out of the things that are wrong with us, it seemed like the best option. So we're going to try it first. We just literally got a new mattress like 6 months ago, but it's the worst mattress ever. So I needed to get a new one. And we got it from American Freight, and of course, their return policy is junk. So anyway, all right, I'm really gonna let you guys go now because I gotta pee, to be honest with y'all. So I drank almost this whole Gatorade. So I'll talk to you guys all next week.
Bye.
Bye.